Hey, hey, hey! Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back. PowerWash Simulator with Foxy and Vague. Give me 1 second. Game capture. PowerWash. Alright, there we go. Now, Discord,
Go over
unmute.
and ask them. And
There.
I'm like, hey, did you get my package?
Oh, my eyes are stuck as hearts again.
It seems to happen a lot.
Sure.
It does.
I
It's
think
very
you're a
annoying.
person just full of love.
It's on a timer. It's supposed to swap for like 30 seconds and then swap back every like however many minutes. I forget what it is. As like a little thing,
God.
right?
Rude. Oh my god.
But
Did he do it again?
the PNG
Yeah.
Tuber Plus app is such a mess that it like forgets the timer regularly. So yeah, very annoying.
When is your debut?
December 27th at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Cool.
I will be doing some basic intro stuff once I actually make them because I haven't.
Yeah.
The
The one of your belly is the first one that of the like previews that I've seen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I made all of those in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't want to spend any more money on this.
Yep.
But yeah. Yeah. And then I'm going to play Uno and Tricky Towers.
I don't
Oh,
know
no.
what Tricky Towers is.
Vague, you have to play Tricky Towers.
God damn it. It's basically Tetris, but mini game and with friends, and I always lose unless I win, and then I just cry for the rest of the day because I keep losing.
Once we get closer to the date, I'm going to tell Zilia that she has to force Lux to attend. He has to be there for Tricky Towers. If Lux is not there, it's not a real tournament.
Yep. Lux always wins somehow.
Because
Do you have
Lux
Pummel
is a
Party?
god. Pummel Party?
Mm-hmm.
What is Pummel Party?
It's like
I'm drawing a
Mario
blank.
Party, but more violent.
I want to say no.
I feel like you would enjoy that game.
Yeah.
I was originally going to start Yakuza too.
Oh, nice.
Yakuza 3.
That's also a
because-
fun one.
I streamed Kiwami 1 and 2 like forever ago, and I did them both back to back, which was it was like 100 and something hours of Yakuza,
I remember. I was there.
and I was playing it constantly, and it hit a point where I was like, man, these games are great, but I am so sick of Yakuza.
Oh,
Because Kiwami 1 and 2 are great games.
That's gonna be me with Assassin's Creed.
yep.
Oh my god, at least Assassin's Creed has, like, huge changes in the genre as you go through it.
But there are so many of them.
There
Yeah.
are. But, like, there is that slight benefit. The problem with Kiwami 1 and 2 is that they're both remakes of Yakuza 1 and 2, and they're virtually identical. And they have all the same humor and the same writing and the same animations and fighting styles, and like it's rough. It's especially bad if you play Yakuza 0 first,
Yep.
because they were all made right around the same time, and the guys that make the Yakuza games pump them out really fast.
Yep.
So, like, it's if you play Yakuza 0, Kiwami 1, and Kiwami 2 all back to back, that's like 200 plus hours of the same animations and writing styles, and like it's rough.
How many Yakuza games are there?
8 mainline, and then
I think there might be 9 now.
I think the 8th one is coming out because it was 6. No, you're right. You're
Because
right.
I think the one coming out is 9.
Yeah, no, one coming out is 9.
Then
Then
wouldn't that
there's
be 10 mainline? Because there's 0?
There's one. So 0 to 6 is the initial ones with Kiryu.
Yep.
I can't speak.
Yep.
And then you had, what was it? The next two, so that would be 8, 9, yeah, 10. Unless I'm discounting again.
You forgot
Because
7.
the next one has Majima as a pirate.
I think Yakuza 7 was still Kiryu, wasn't it?
No, I think no, there's more than that. There's 11, because there's another Kiryu game where he's a bodyguard.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, basically.
And then
Yeah.
there's spin-offs, like there's the one set in Samurai Japan, and then there's the zombie one.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. And the other problem is that 3, the next game I have to play, is now the oldest one.
Oh, because
So
it
you-
hasn't been remastered.
Right. So you go from Kiwami 2, which is fairly new, relatively speaking, to 3, which is really old.
Yeah,
And I was
played
just not up for that.
Yeah.
4 or 5 on the PS3, and I was just like, this game is the shit.
It's so good. But you need to have patience with them, because there is so much extra content in those games, and
Yeah.
some of it sucks, but like a lot of the side missions are fucking incredible.
Yeah, the writing is just, some of the plot points are absolutely insane. And sometimes you're like, I have never agreed with someone more in my life about how they responded to a situation.
I'll never forget that time Kiryu bought a dirty magazine for a kid out of a vending machine. That shit was so fucking funny.
Yeah. Or, I'm trying to remember, I'm trying to spoil any events in future games.
I have seen some of them because I watched Let's Plays forever ago. I think maybe 6 and 5. I don't remember which ones though.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem, is since I haven't played them all, I don't know like exactly.
It's goddamn insane sometimes.
It's so nuts, dude. I mean,
And then all of a sudden you're partway through a
Fucking-
game with one character, and then out of nowhere you get punched in the side of the head, and suddenly it's another character, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? This hurts.
I mean, Kiwami 2 is all about a, like, cell of Korean terrorists
Yep.
that plant a humongous bomb. And it is fucking wacky. And Kiwami 1 is all about the fucking power struggle in the Tojo clan.
Yep.
And, like, the fucking secret government organization is involved, and it's fucking nuts.
So my my calendar reminder about our collab is it still says Valheim.
Does it? That's funny. Also, just everything that happens to Sajima. he has it rough. I haven't played that one yet, but I do know what happens in whatever Yakuza that is, where Sajima or Seijima, I forget, goes into that business and shoots all those guys, but then finds out that he didn't kill them all. That someone replaced the bullets in the guns with police non-lethal rounds. So he went to jail for like 10 years for murdering all of these rival gang members. He's not the one that killed them. So he shot them all and thought he killed them all and then surrendered to the police because that was like the mission, right? And he goes to jail for all these years for it. But what actually happened is they were all unconscious and then someone else came in after him and shot them. It's so fucking stupid. But yeah, it's good stuff. Vague, are you alive? I'm guessing he's getting his food.
Or you got a work call.
Oh, or that. But yeah, Yakuza's nuts. And I played like fucking 80, 100 hours back to back on stream, and I was like, I can't do this. I need a break. So the original plan was to go back to it for my debut, but then I was like, then my debut stream is going to be like really long.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I think it was last year for Christmas. Zig and my friend Dalton bought me every single Assassin's Creed game that I didn't already have, which was
Christ.
most of them.
I have not played an Assassin's Creed since Black Flag.
I have not played any of them.
I played every single one until Black Flag, and then I stopped playing them.
I owned a couple of them already, mostly because they were free on Epic. But I had not played any of them, and now I own all of them. I don't own all the DLC, but I own all of the base games.
You know what I'd love to see? And Vague may or may not agree with me. I'd love to see a CD Projekt Red Assassin's Creed that's like the Templars and the Assassins, but in the future, cyberpunk style.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be fucking dope. Because they have all of the systems already in place from Cyberpunk.
Yep. Yeah, I also thought it was funny that they wrote themselves into a corner with the Assassin's Creed games and had to unwrite themselves out of the corner. It's so funny.
Yeah, that'll happen.
And then there were
3
lawsuits.
was weird.
Yeah, so fun fact, if I remember correctly, the story for the first Assassin's Creed was altered because one of the organizations that they used in the game still exists, and they're like, how dare you talk about us in any way, shape, or form, we're suing you.
That's annoying.
Oh, yeah, to finish my package story, so I called up UPS, they escalated it to the depot, right?
Package.
Yeah, they lost my package. I'm so sad.
Oh no. Foxy, are you okay?
I mean, I haven't had a sex drive in about 6 months, so for the moment, yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
But I asked if they had a bigger photo because you literally can't read a single thing on there. But then I was looking at the photo more after I got the phone, and I figured out where it was. So I had to walk to the other end of where I live, quite a distance, and I managed to find my package. And then from there, I reverse engineered what happened. That the company I ordered from, their ordering system, is supposed to stop you once you hit a certain character number, and it did not stop me, and it passed on those inputs. So it had the complete wrong address. So I had to submit a bug report saying, hey, your system let me put it incorrect. It basically truncated
junk data.
Yeah, it basically
Yeah, you
took
can't do
data
that.
which wasn't junk. It should have spit out an error on the user side and on the server side, and it apparently they didn't code anything on server side to flag that data.
Right.
So it would show up perfect on my account profile and the initial email, but the ordering email is for the shipped email, when it actually ships, actually started showing the incorrect data. And you don't usually pay attention to that. Usually, like, if the order sheet is good, the rest should be good. So yeah, that was my day.
I have 13 Assassin's Creed games on Steam.
There's so many. And if it were me, I would skip a bunch of the bad ones. Or not even like bad, but the ones that are like not memorable. Like Rogue.
And 2 more on Epic.
Yeah. I feel
Rogue
like
is not
Unity-
memorable.
I think Unity-
Liberation.
Yeah. Unity got better with all the patches.
Yes, fucking. Remember Uplay?
You
It still
the
exists.
Does it?
Ubisoft launch.
Yeah.
I thought they gave up on it.
Nope.
Remember
I
games
had
for
to-
Windows Live?
Yep.
I had to get Uplay to play something within the last like year.
It's fucking absurd. Maybe if one of you fuckers could make a competitor to Steam that's not trash, people would actually like use it.
Yeah. It's okay. None of them are as bad as EA Desktop.
That's fair. EA Desktop is fucking trash.
That's a fun one if you want to play Mass Effect or Sims. You better hope it downloads right. Otherwise, you have to uninstall the game and reinstall it again. Hope it downloads.
And sometimes that still doesn't work.
Yep.
Yeah, I had some
I
problems
had to
with Mass Effect.
I had to open a bug report because I got the Game of the Year edition of Inquisition, and it didn't include the DLC.
Funny related note. I actually have 2 copies of Inquisition. I have the base one and then the Game of the Year on EA.
Never did finish the game.
I have the base one. Well, so the disc is the base one for 360, and then I have the Game of the Year on PC.
The Xbox 2, not to be confused with the Xbox One 2.
Where did you go? Rue. Swear to God,
You know
he was
that-
just right here whining.
You know that meme of Joker saying about the Pokemon? He's like, "I'm gonna do it, Batman." There's no laws against the Pokemon, Batman.
Rue.
Are you aware of that one?
It sounds familiar.
I'm gonna touch the scaffold. I'm gonna do it.
Foxy will shoot you.
I will murderize you.
There's no laws against the Pokemon, Batman.
Which reminds me, I had a fun experience with EA a few years ago. Long story short, I don't remember what I was trying to get them to fix on my account, but the guy did it in the worst way possible. And I had to keep escalating the ticket until I lucked out and some guy in the back-end engineering team caught my ticket in the wrong queue, and he emailed me. He's like, "Hey, can you hop on a phone call for a few minutes? I got to tell you what to do for me to actually fix your account." So the guy actually called me from one of EA's numbers, and he was like, "Hey, so long story short, they fucked your account in the back end. Like, I can actually fix this, which we're not supposed to do, but I'm a supervisor. I can basically do what I want."
This is one of those cases where, like, yeah, your shit's fucked, and like, I'm not supposed to be able to fix this,
And
but
it's not your fault.
Yeah.
but
Because
I'm gonna fix it anyway.
Yeah, so like, for example, some integrations like with MMOs like Star Wars: The Old Republic, when they fuck your account like this, it fucks your ability to ever play with that account ever again. It's basically
checks
gone.
out. That checks
But
out.
yeah, he's like,
Isn't
"I'm
that
gonna
what
fix-"
happened to Luna too?
Probably. It's probably happened to a lot of people. And it's stupid because it takes a lot of back-end work. So he basically gave me instructions. He's like, "Okay, this is going to be reset on your account. But what I need you to do for me is anywhere you have EA linked up and you have friends in common, you have to unfriend them." So basically I emptied out like 80% plus of my friends list on both of them. Because he's like, "I can try to force it, but usually that doesn't work. You have to do it yourself." And then I'll check it on my end to make sure everyone's unfriended that you have in common, like on Steam, Epic, and EA Launcher. And then once you do that, it'll take me about a day to basically go in the back end and manually unfuck things. And then you have to wait another day. And then everything should link up during the next maintenance. So, truth be told, I waited a couple days and everything was fixed, and I had to re-add everybody as friends.
Neat. I like it when you get
Yeah.
an IT guy that actually knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, I was like,
and is willing to
thank
do it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I was like, thank you so much. If I could buy you something like a dinner or some kind of breakfast or a muffin or something or a donut, I would. But that would
This
be a
is the
problem.
kind of like over and above service that
That I
tips
would
were
buy you a beer
invented
for.
for.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god, I had the best fucking muffin.
I
Called a
usually don't
Morning
fuck my
Glory
muffins.
muffin.
Oh my god, it's called
I
Morning
would
Glory
fuck,
too.
I would fuck this muffin. It was like it's like a carrot cake, but also has like pineapple in it and zucchini and like, but it was so dense, but it also was like filling and delicious because it had cinnamon and just deliciousness in it.
That's the cocaine, but continue.
Probably.
And the MSG.
Yeah. Good thing I'm not allergic like my grandma.
Yeah, I've definitely fucking been there. Where you eat something and you're like, my life has changed. My perspective is different.
It was so fucking good.
God has returned to the mortal realm.
That reminds me, I was playing Dead by Daylight. I ordered Cane's. The Texas toast was so good. For about a minute, I fucking forgot how to play video games.
Yeah.
I've definitely fucking been there.
Yeah. They do have really good Texas toast.
Texas Roadhouse has good rolls.
They do.
And good butter.
I was gonna say it's more about the butter there than the actual
Yeah, their
rolls.
butter
They
is
do have
really
good rolls, but it's about the butter.
The butter is good shit.
Yep. Cinnamon and honey butter, which you could just make yourself at home.
Which I've done.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. It's just fucking butter, cinnamon, and honey.
Yep. You soften the butter a little bit and mix everything together.
I did that, and I did maple butter once for like, I think it was chicken and waffles. I did like a maple butter.
Nice. I did a thyme garlic butter.
Yeah, those are
For
good.
Thanksgiving a couple years ago.
Throw that bitch on a steak while the steak is still ripping hot.
Oh no, I put it underneath the turkey skin.
Oh, that's also a good call. Under the skin.
This year we're just doing appetizers and desserts.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the plans are this year because they're different than usual, and I'm like, whatever, okay, sure, just tell me where to go and what to bring. People are still arguing. So, I told them I would bring 12 cans of cranberry sauce as a joke, and now I'm wondering if I should continue the joke and actually show up with 12 cans of cranberry sauce.
I mean, it's not like cans of cranberry sauce are expensive. You could totally do it.
They also take forever to expire.
Yes.
Like they last a while. I got my my Swiss Miss for the winter.
Nice.
My 2 boxes of 50 packets. I usually
Is
bring
Swiss
one to
Miss-
work.
Like, is it gluten-free already, or is there like a special one?
It's gluten-free. Thankfully, they don't add flour to hot chocolate powder for no fucking reason.
I mean, you
I
never
was gonna
fucking
say,
know.
I was like, I'd be very worried if you had gluten in your hot chocolate.
I would not put it
But
past
you never
them.
know.
Yep.
Yep.
You gotta be careful for that reason.
Yep.
When I did this by myself, that fucking tower took longer than the entire fucking fire department.
Uh-huh.
Tower is annoying.
It is. Do you have, where are you?
I'm on the roof. I just watched you run away.
That sprint though.
I have the extra long extension, correct?
Well, not just the extra long extension, but this end.
I don't think so.
That makes all the difference.
Gotcha.
Like, this is still kind of annoying, but it's not taking me that long.
Right. I also only had the red power washer, I think.
Mm.
The second one.
Yeah, and I think this this tip is only available on the Pro Power Washer.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, debut will be fun, December 27th. Be there or die. All of my friends have nanite bomb collars.
What?
Whether they know it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It only activates if you eat seafood.
Well, I'm allergic to shrimp, but I do eat it anyway.
My favorite thing are the allergies, like that one, and especially lactose.
Yeah.
Where lactose is the big one, where people
Where
are like,
it
"Well,
makes you, like,
I'm
shit your
allergic to
guts
dairy,
out.
but fuck that."
I want cheese or ice cream, so I'm gonna proceed to shit my guts out for a few hours here, but it's worth it because ice cream.
Exactly.
Cheese.
Exactly.
So, shrimp is a weird one. I am totally fine if I eat something else first. If I have shrimp on an empty stomach, I break out in hives.
That is a weird one.
Yeah. My dad is the same way with avocado, except instead of breaking out in hives, he gets chest pains if he has avocado on an empty stomach.
Yeah, definitely weird one.
Yep. Not 100% sure, but looks like unlikely that I will be going home to Texas for Christmas. But if I am, then I probably will not be able to watch your debut.
Okay. I get it. They don't have internet down there.
It will not have access to a computer down there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Every time you try to bring a computer over the border, they freak out and panic.
I don't have a laptop.
And there's usually lots of gunfire.
Well, there's lots of gunfire regardless. It's Texas.
It's like those uncontacted tribes. That's Texas, but with technology.
Sort of. You want to... I mean, the best time to hear a lot of weapons fire for no apparent reason in Texas is at midnight on New Year's Eve.
I believe it.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thanks. I played out.
How's the chili? Have you eaten it yet?
It was the good.
And the cornbread?
It was also good.
Good. Did you make the cornbread correctly?
Yes.
Good.
Is it just the cast iron skillet for you? Or is there other things that
There
make
are
it
other
correct?
things, but the cast iron skillet is like the bare minimum.
That's fair.
Like, there's just, if you make cornbread and anything else, it doesn't taste right.
For me, cast iron skillet is definitely preferable, but it's not a requirement. What is a requirement is not having whole kernel corn in it.
Oh yeah, no, I fucking hate that too.
And it not being sweet.
See, it's funny because
Or at least not overly sweet.
I don't believe there is such a thing as too sweet. And I don't like my cornbread to be overly sweet. But I do like to put honey butter on top of the cornbread.
No, that is totally valid. That is absolutely valid.
But I agree.
The bread itself should not be too sweet.
Correct. Yes. But the big thing is the cast iron pan, because if you don't have the cast iron pan, and ideally you want the pan hot before you pour the batter in.
Because it gets a little bit crusty.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you don't do that, it's just not right. You know?
So, fun fact, I have a cast iron pan. I have never used it.
Sacre bleu, camarade.
What do you use?
To make cornbread?
Well, just in general.
I don't make cornbread.
For anything.
Well, I do my steaks in the air fryer.
Interesting.
I do a lot of I don't do a lot of things that would require it anyway.
I use pans all the fucking time. I'm a big fan of just get pan really fucking hot, throw thing in. Yummy.
See, I am more of the, I'm gonna throw this in the oven. Because, yeah, it's gonna take longer, but I don't have to stand there and do the thing.
See, that's why I'm such a big fan of the get pan really fucking hot approach.
Yeah.
Like I made,
I reheat everything in the oven.
Well, I use the microwave most of the time. It depends.
I also use a
No.
microwave. I was bullied for it
No.
incessantly in front of Rue.
Yes, you were.
What were you reheating?
Pizza.
In the mic? Okay, hold on. To be clear, 15 seconds in the microwave to take the chill out, and then in the oven is fine.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
no, he was doing
fine.
he was gonna do the entire time in the microwave.
It gets soggy. I'd rather eat the pizza fucking cold.
Stale.
Or
Yeah,
weirdly
exactly.
stale. I'd rather eat it cold.
Yeah.
But
same.
I will regularly, like, if I'm reheating like goat cheese balls or like
Goat cheese balls?
yeah, goat cheese balls.
What are goat cheese balls?
So you take goat cheese. You take like a brick of goat cheese and you cut it into slices, which is very difficult because goat
'cause it's
cheese loves
crumbly.
to fall apart.
Yeah.
And then you roll it into balls, which you then put in the freezer for like 15, 20 minutes. And then bread them and fry them.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
But
need
they have
that.
the same problem where it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So usually we'll get like 2 packs of goat cheese and make like 50 of them.
Yeah.
But you don't eat 50 of them because you eat like
I
eat
need
like
fucking watch me.
I will usually eat like 5 of them and then be like, man, that's really good. I want to eat more, but I probably shouldn't. And then I eat like 10 more. And then for the rest of the day, I want to die.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Because that is a ridiculous amount of deep fried cheese. But
I don't see the problem here.
the best way to reheat them is to put them in the microwave for like 15 seconds and then put them in the oven or the toaster oven or whatever.
See, pizza, reheating in the oven is acceptable, but the actual correct way to do it is in a skillet on the stovetop.
Yeah, you're probably right. I've never done it
Because
that
then you
way, but
crisp up the crust, and you can still get the cheese nice and gooey and melty.
but yeah, that's
But I almost everything I reheat in the oven. I put it on like 250 and just throw it in there for like 20-30 minutes.
it depends. The other day I had some ham steak that I had to use, and we have some leftover mashed potatoes because we had to use the potatoes because they were going bad. And nonstick pan, get it fucking hot as fuck, or as hot as you can get a nonstick pan before you start damaging it. Ham in, little bit of butter, salt, pepper, garlic powder. Fry it up, take it out, mashed potatoes in the pan, absorb up all that butter and ham goodness. Put a lid on top so the mashed potatoes can warm through. Boom, done, perfect.
I have no problems with that. That's just not the way that I would do it.
And it only took me like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but that's still like 10 minutes you have to like stand there and do the thing.
That's true.
So I will, most of the time what I'm reheating is fast food because don't have the spoons to cook lately.
That's
So
fair.
I will take it out of the fridge and it will still be in whatever wrapper it came in. I put that directly in the oven um, on the rack,
Mm-hmm.
and oven is not preheated. I then turn the oven on and set a timer for like 20 to 30 minutes, depending on what it is.
Right.
And then I go upstairs and play games or watch TV or
I
something.
will say that whenever I cook a pizza, a frozen pizza, or reheat a pizza, I always use my pizza stone.
Mine broke.
I'm gonna knock on wood before I say this. We've had that pizza stone for over 20 years.
Mine was probably that old or older. Actually, older, I think.
And you throw that bitch in the oven, turn it on, let it get nice
Yeah.
and warm,
Mm-hmm.
then throw the pizza on top. Comes out perfect every fucking time.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I
it's still
that
like
is one thing. I think that preheating your oven in general is like propaganda,
it depends.
and it's unnecessary.
It
If you're
depends.
baking, I get it.
If you're baking, it's really important.
If you're baking, I get it. But in general, I think preheating your oven is propaganda, and it's bullshit.
It depends. If you're doing anything greasier, like chicken wings, then it's a little more important because that slow coming up to temperature will make them get soggy first,
True.
which makes it take way longer to get them crispy.
Like
Like
there
are
are
exceptions, but yes, I
yes.
agree that
But
there are a
using
lot of times
pizza
you really
stone-
don't need to fucking do it.
Using a pizza stone is one thing that I will preheat an oven for.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Because if you don't preheat the pizza stone, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's pointless to even use it. But yeah,
But like
so
that's an
my
example where if the pizza is
stone-
already kind of dry, then I'll put it in the microwave for like 20 seconds because I don't want it to dry out in the oven.
No, see, because so this is what you do in the stove. So you like preheat the skillet over like, kind of like medium heat,
Mm-hmm.
and then put the you have to do it one piece at a time. You put the piece of pizza in the skillet with like, I don't know, 1/8 of a teaspoon of water.
Mm-hmm. Like
And then
how
you
I
put
reheat
a
rice.
Lid, and then you put the lid over it and let it heat for, I don't know, like a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And the crust will get nice and crispy again, but the top like rehydrates and gets gooey and cheesy.
Right. One of my favorite things to do on these easier maps is if you're like extra anal about it because of the harder maps, then sometimes you'll finish a thing while there's still a huge a huge spot of dirt on the wall.
Yeah. I love that.
It's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me double check the whole fucking thing and see if we missed anything on the fire department.
So,
But also, like for me, when I have low spoons but not super low spoons, I find the cooking to be relaxing.
Yeah, I'm not there.
It depends. If I'm like really, really low, then I usually just
Well,
won't
and then like the
eat.
shitty part is I like to cook.
Yeah.
I don't like doing dishes, but I like to cook.
Well, that's
And it works out because I don't mind doing dishes.
And you hate doing laundry, and I don't mind doing laundry.
I don't mind doing laundry.
Laundry's not too bad. It's unloading fucking dishwashers. That's the one.
Yeah, and I don't mind unloading. I just don't want to touch the dirty ones.
Vague doesn't like unloading.
Not saying a word.
It depends. Most of the things I tend to cook.
Only according to dreams.
What was it? I didn't hear that.
Only he said he's a holy pilgrim,
Oh.
and I said only according to dreams.
Ah. I see.
She refuses to believe that he's not an innocent soul.
Oh. Yeah, I believe that. Not that, but that, yeah.
That dreams, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of the things that I tend to cook for myself are simple enough that I will do the dishes as I go. And the last pan I can clean while I'm waiting for my food to cool.
If I'm just making like one serving of something, then yeah, it's fine. But I don't cook that way. I will make like 6 to 8 servings of something and individually portion out and freeze them so I have leftovers.
Right.
I, in fact, follow recipes to the letter. And then
Oh, you're like me when I was still in middle school.
Yeah.
See, I like to make things taste the exact same way each time and then begin to experiment.
Oh, you would love Star Trek replicators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my recipes end up looking like something out of a Lovecraft novel. Like I stole a page out of the Necronomicon. You're like, what does this even mean by the time I've finished perfecting a recipe to the way I love it?
Right. Which, by the way, the replicator thing always seemed stupid to me.
Why?
Because, like, okay. So basically, every single time you order turkey and mashed potatoes, it's going to taste pretty much exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a perfect copy of the original, like, recipe that was programmed into the replicator, right?
Yeah.
We know that you can hand program things into replicators, but you can also just have them, like, scan something and then make copies of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, at some point, somebody had to make turkey and mashed potatoes to become that replicator pattern, give or take.
Yeah.
Maybe with some tweaking from people that understand that's, like...
Well, they had to
that
make
nonsense.
turkey, and then they had to make mashed potatoes.
Right. So, how is there not a bunch of people that are just making the same turkey 100 different times, and then you upload all 100 of them to give variance to the pattern, and then whenever you order it, it just gives you a random one?
That would be
Because they
interesting.
didn't think about it that hard.
Like, that's always been my thing, is like... And then in Star Trek Enterprise, they encounter that one ship, which is where they first see replicators for the first time. And that ship, its computers scanned the Enterprise's computers, which had a bunch of protein makeups and stuff like that for Earth food and vegetables and wildlife and stuff like that, right? Basically, the Enterprise's computers, because storage space is not a problem in the far future, had ridiculous amounts of information on them about things that don't make a lot of sense to have information on. But that alien ship was able to create a human recipe based just off of that. Just by like, oh, this is pan-fried catfish, and this is what a catfish is, and this is the proteins that make up catfish, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't understand why they didn't just do that. And you don't have to store a unique pattern for each fucking thing, right? So you let's say deep fried turkey, right? You deep fry 100 turkeys.
That's what I had for dinner
It's good shit. You deep fry 100 turkeys, right?
from Arby's.
You really only have one main pattern, and then you only care about the differences. All the similarities don't matter, so you don't have to store 100 patterns. You're only storing 1 plus variance. And you probably don't even have to go all the way to 100. Like, you could probably get away with, like, 50. That would be just enough variance that people would not know, you know? Anyway. I think we missed a window on the main building.
Yep.
It always just seemed weird to me.
Have you considered writing for Star Trek?
No. They don't deserve me.
Damn.
Done. We did it!
Yay!
Achievement unlocked, baby!
The only one I have left for the base game is to do get a gold on challenge mode.
Ah.
So,
So do they ever find that fucking cat?
Yes?
I see.
Which cat?
The mayor's cat. The mayor's cat.
Oh. Gotcha. I was like, what historical event is happening now that is once in a lifetime happening every week of a missing cat? What did I miss?
Why did you leave?
I forgot that you could just pick another one. I thought this was one of those games where you have to leave.
Oh god, I that's so annoying when it's like it forces you to go back to main menu, recreate your lobby every single fucking time.
Mm-hmm. God forbid their netcode is just written well.
Yep. So I'm actually looking to purchase a desk chair, and I've kind of settled on either a remanufactured Leap V2 or Amia, and I'm just like, how does
Same
one
code.
choose? Oh god, I looked and now I'm blind.
Are we cleaning a rock?
Yep.
Where the fuck are we?
This is legit
In the
blinding.
desert.
Does this one have a weird rule?
No.
This is literally what I see every day.
Sand.
Lots of sand. So much sand and dirt and desert.
There is a lot of sand and dirt. Is this whole thing stone?
Yep.
What the fuck am I doing? I should have enough money for the soap attachment now. Let me check. I do not. Fuck. Never mind. Alright, that's fine. I'll use this one.
And then the real kicker for living in the desert is you just kind of travel a bit. Then you're like, oh, look at all these East Coast plants that require a shit ton of water. That's
Yeah, isn't that
perfect
great?
Yep.
You know, my favorite thing is Saudi Arabians buying land in Arizona to grow alfalfa.
Yep, and then ship it
What?
back.
Yep.
Yep. It's been a thing. It's a
Yeah,
huge
a bunch
problem.
of people that live in the desert, halfway across the world, buying land in Arizona to grow a crop that requires a ridiculous amount of water.
Yep. It's a huge problem with historical water rights.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically they're incentivized to use more water than they need just to make sure that the next time water rights are being reallocated, they don't lose their water rights because they're insanely valuable.
Yeah, it's the water right equivalent of we have to shoot 4,000 rounds today.
Yep.
Otherwise, they're going to reduce our unit's budget next year.
Yep. And then you have all the way down from the families who have owned water rights for generations to companies who have water rights. Then you have states and then countries. And this is just in the U.S. Like, just for one body of water, you end up with that. And it's a fucking nightmare.
Isn't it great?
And nobody's willing to budge. Everybody thinks they should get everything they want and screw everybody else. And I'm just like, this isn't going to work.
It's not going to work, and eventually we're going to have a Mad Max situation.
Yep.
Where roving gangs are fighting over scraps of water. It'll take a while, but we'll get there.
Yep.
More likely, the we'll hit a point where the state national guard is guarding the water.
Yep.
For a while, and then things will get really bad from there.
Yep. It's like, they're like, we could do desalination plants and bring water from the sea, and like, it's too expensive. And I'm like, if it's too expensive now, imagine what's going to happen when we have enough water.
It's one of those things where it's too expensive until people start dying. And then it's too late.
No, then it's still too expensive, but it's even more expensive. And you don't have a choice.
Because a lot of, basically when you're manufacturing chips, you need a geologically stable area, and a lot of deserts are very geologically stable.
Makes sense.
So how do you, is desalinating water, is it the same as distilling it?
Well, desalination is just removing the salt, really.
I know.
I think it's its own process.
Yeah.
It also produces a lot of waste. It's not
Distilling
ideal.
it, you just boil it and catch the water vapor.
Yeah. I don't know how desalination plants work, but
Because then you get absolutely
presume
pure water.
that they're similar.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Oh, distillation is a method of desalination.
Yeah.
Desalination is any artificial process that converts saline water into fresh water. Distillation is the thermal method of doing so. Other methods include electrodialysis, membrane distillation, and solar water desalination.
Yeah, so they're using another method, and that's why it's creating so much waste.
Yeah, probably because they need to do it in bulk.
Because distillation would not create that much waste.
Waiting for, well, if we assume that you had a bunch of massive, gigantic pools with glass roofs over them to focus the sunlight onto the water to evaporate it and then collect it, you would still end up with pools full of salt and other junk that you would have to clean out. But I know the electro.
But I wonder if you could then
like
go through and
efficient.
like purify the salt so it could be sold as like
Maybe. I guess
to
it
eat
depends.
or something.
Yeah,
Or I
I
guess
just-
you wouldn't have to purify it. You could use it for de-icing purposes.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess it depends. But
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure
just
that the people building these billion-dollar desalination plants have thought about it more than the three of us in 5 minutes on Twitch.
You actually might be surprised.
I
would
mean,
say
yes.
you would hope, yes.
I would hope.
It ends up being, this is the stupid thing I've run into in what
I would hope
Core
that they
is.
did a Google search at least.
It's like, you know, your average person will just be like, well, why don't we try this? And then it turns out some random person at the beginning of the project thought, why don't we do this? And then they're like, well, it costs more than XYZ dollars, therefore we're not even going to consider it. And then it's
Fair.
like, but in the long term, you probably could have got tax breaks plus selling what extras you had. You know, would have net you more than you lost by just paying, you know, hazmat waste to be disposed of.
Right.
Because there's no incentive for them other than the initial cursory raw math with, like, not even, like, doing any research if it'll make them money. And they're like, nope, all right, drop it from the project, don't even think about it.
Yeah, I know. Oh well.
It's not like a product that turns pages on books could definitely have any other uses. Definitely not.
No.
I feel like I'm missing a reference.
So long story short, company made product that automatically turns pages for books and literally sold it to a single museum and didn't consider any other potential uses of said product like Google scanning books or
The
universities.
Library of Congress.
Yeah, or that, or for people with disabilities. They considered none of those and basically sold the tech once and then just kind of shelved it. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, you guys are truly among the most foolish I've ever seen, because that right there is a tech worth money and they just sit on it.
One of the things I watched a long time ago about the Library of Congress trying to digitize their archives as best they can is the problem of they have these great scanners, but they have to basically lower a thing,
Manually do the thing.
take a scan, lift it, turn the page, put the thing down, push a button, lift it, turn a page, and it takes forever, and you have to pay someone to do it.
Yep.
And it's extremely tedious work, which is to say, it's the kind of thing that automation is meant for.
Yep.
Yep.
Like, the Library of Congress would pay good money for a machine that can do that without damaging the pages.
Yep. I heard somebody once say the Library of Congress is pirating, therefore they should not be able to do anything. And I'm like, it's the government. The government can do whatever the fuck the government wants.
Yeah, the government,
Like, what was
the
it,
rules
one
don't
time the
apply.
Navy got caught not paying for software they use, and they're like, we're the government, we can do what we want. They literally got caught cracking software.
I was about to tell a story, but then I thought better of it.
I feel that. That was me with examples. I had several, but I'm like, wait, I think I'm still under NDA.
Yeah, I don't think I can tell those stories.
Yep. Yep. I feel that there's a lot I am still under NDA for.
The day I leave my job, I'm going to start a 10-year timer.
Is that how long it lasts for?
It's a little more complicated than that, but there are certain things that fall within that scope. So, because there are some things that are never going, like, that I'll never be able to talk about.
Yep.
Anything that requires a security clearance?
Pretty much.
Yep.
Well,
Can't say
some stuff
shouldn't.
some stuff gets declassified after 10 years, but that's my
Yeah,
point.
if it's
And
declassified, you
some
usually
stuff
can, but
gets
that doesn't.
declassified after 80.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's every 10 years they're supposed to do an assessment
Yeah.
or a reassessment. And just because it was declassified doesn't mean that it's
Yep.
for public dissemination. So even then, it's like... But 10 years is the timeline where I can talk about, like, that one time my coworker broke the machine.
Yep.
Stuff like that. After 10 years, nobody will get on your case about that. If you have ever been on a naval ship that was made in the last 100 years, you would be amazed how overbuilt some things are and underbuilt some things are.
Yep.
Like, the battleship New Jersey. Built in the 40s, upgraded a bit in the 60s, upgraded a lot in the 80s. And you look at some of the, like, computer equipment and shit from the 80s, and it's like, this button panel is removable in case you need to, like, swap it out for a replacement part. Like, one of the buttons, or, like, the panel goes bad, or the buttons go bad, or whatever, right? You unscrew it, pull it out, unplug it, pop in a new one. And you look at this, like, 80s radar tech, and that button panel has, like, 35 screws holding it in place.
Yep.
And it's like, I think this might be a little much, guys.
Yep.
Just a little bit. And then you see how they test the watertight doors back in the day. I don't know what they do now, obviously. But, like, back in the day, they would test the gaskets on the watertight doors by rubbing, like, like pool cue chalk? Mm-hmm. They would rub chalk on it, and then they would shut the door and lock it so that it was, like, flush. Watertight, right? And then they would open it, and they would examine the chalk and see if it did not firmly attach anywhere. And it's like, I mean, this works. I feel like there's a better way.
Yeah.
I feel like this is not a good enough job. You're just rubbing pool cue chalk on a door and being like, yeah, it's mostly flush. Good enough.
Good enough for government work.
Yeah, and that's where the saying comes from.
Yep.
On one hand, some things are over-engineered to fucking hell and back. And on the other hand, it's, well, they gave the contract to the person that said they could do it for the least amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go. Now, sometimes that's not as bad as it sounds. Because, like, yeah, it's the person that said they could do it for the least amount of money, but it's the person that said they could do it for the least amount of money that demonstrated they could actually fucking do it. Right?
What do you mean you're not allowed by law to import anything from China for this job?
Right.
Cough, cough. Not that anyone's seen that happen. Cough, cough.
Not like that's ever happened. I had
It's
one of
always
my
funny.
professors in college worked at Lockheed Martin part-time, and he told some fucking stories.
Yep.
I can't tell any of my own stories, but, you know.
Yep. It's even, I actually ran into that recently with trying to get a Christmas gift for a friend of mine. Because he wanted one of those Mountain Dew Wow promo mounts, so I went to buy one off of eBay. Says the seller's based in Florida, right? But after you buy it, you literally see the name of the seller in the city is in fucking China.
Of course.
Yeah, I've run into that on Etsy too.
Yeah, and the story gets better. This is the best part. So right after I bought it, like an hour after that, Mountain Dew ran out of codes. So within like 5 minutes, the price had quadrupled from like $25 to $35 to $100 to $125, $30. And the vendor refused to send the code, and eBay's like, yeah, you need to do the usual claims process and wait to see if the vendor will approve you, and then we'll give you your money back. And if 3 days they don't reply, we'll give it back. Otherwise, if they dispute it, you'll have to wait to get your money back.
I'm just spraying the fuck out of this webbing until it fucking counts. It's doing that thing. There we go. Now we gotta find the phalanges.
It's the fingertips.
Oh. Give me a longer
Yeah,
one.
so the funny part was
Hey! Let's go!
I ended up disputing it that way.
Oh, I didn't do the thing.
I put no text in, and the person just approved the refund the next day. They didn't even try.
Yeah. They're probably of the opinion that it's not even worth trying.
Yeah. China has a vastly different culture than the US. I was honestly surprised they didn't try to make me some kind of deal. Like, I would say I got it, and then they'd give me a gift card worth like more than the price of it or something. That happens all
I've
the time.
also run to that on Etsy.
Oh, my favorite thing is when you buy something and they give you a fucking gift card.
Yep.
And then I immediately know, oh, I'm never buying anything from them ever again.
Yep. And then it turns out they're just a
It's a
fly-by-night
huge red
dropshipper.
flag.
Yeah, they're all fly-by-night drop shippers. They just roll their face on the keyboard to make a new company.
You mean you're not loyal to the company Zilfendorf?
I am so loyal to Zilfendorf.
Oh shit. I missed chat messages on YouTube. My bad. I'm sorry. Indhira Neen? Welcome in. It's good to see you. That's my bad. I fucked up.
So, are you using like a program that combines your chats?
Nope. I tried to get them working and they were inconsistent. So I gave up.
Gotcha.
Stream Elements is working on multi-stream stuff that's in beta. That was some of the stuff that I tried to use, was the stuff that they've already like published. And it was not working great, so I just said fuck it. My activity feed is supposed to be both. But I don't know for sure if that's the case.
Gotcha.
I tested it once a while ago. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
It's just, it feels like that's one of the things that should not be that hard.
You would think. I'm using Atium Multistream, the OBS plugin. Restream is nice, and that you can use a bot that will copy-paste the YouTube comments into your Twitch.
That sounds like that could be exploited in hilarious ways.
Yeah. So, but if I do that, I have to turn off the chat on screen. Because it's against TOS.
Yeah. Yep. Because Twitch is free.
Yes, they are.
Why is it against TOS?
They don't want YouTube comments to be showing up in Twitch.
Why?
I don't know. I don't understand it.
They're just trying their best to whatever they can legally and doesn't piss off the user base enough that they can keep you on there.
Pretty much.
Keep you only on Twitch.
When I did this one, I literally did the whole outside wall by standing on top of it first. I did
is the
all of
way.
that first. But yeah, so if Stream Elements' multi-stream stuff comes out of beta and it works well, then I'll probably start using those. The activity feed is supposed to be showing up on both, but I don't know. I tested it once. I had Zillia unsubscribe and then resubscribe to see if it would show up, and it worked, but I haven't tested it since, so...
Well, tell you what, I'll test it for you. Let me sign in to the correct Google account.
Yeah, Vague's gonna hit me with the, Raytheon Missile Defense has subscribed to you on YouTube.
I mean, not gonna lie, that would be funny.
It would be funny. General Electric's Weapons Division.
Pretty much.
We make washing machines, and we also make the GAU 20mm Vulcan cannon.
Yep.
They
You're
both
looking
spin.
to buy. You're looking to buy a microwave and a weapons platform? Boy, do we got news for you.
Or Texas Instruments. We make calculators and the computers on fighter jets.
That's my nickname.
Texas Instrument? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's a good one. I haven't
My
had many...
Sunday D&D group calls me that because human calculator
okay.
from Texas. Yeah.
I don't know if you've done anything vague, but nothing has shown up.
I hit subscribe.
Alright, let me go to YouTube. See if it shows up in there.
I am going to commit murder.
Why are you committing murder?
Group chat.
Oh, yes. You are definitely going to commit murder.
Mm-hmm.
It's not showing up in the
With the
YouTube
help of Nico
notifications
and
yet
Kay.
either. Like, YouTube has not even registered it yet.
If I'm subscribed to your channel.
It's very strange. But ultimately, hey, test. I see chat. Obviously, because I have it popped out separately. Because I couldn't get the multi-stream chat to work. But if I was using Restream, then I wouldn't have this many problems. But Restream, if you want all the features, you have to pay for it.
Yep.
So
everything costs money these days.
I
had a conversation with
ATOM
someone today.
multi-stream is free, and it works. So here we are. It's harder on my CPU, but whatever. It's an AMD, I'll be fine. I do also get emails whenever people subscribe. Let me see if I got an email.
Shit.
Let me try something else.
Nah, no email yet. YouTube has not, like, sent it out, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe they've labeled me as a spam account. Lamau. That's what I get for uploading a short every day. Check.
So my YouTube account is bugged. I actually have two of them under the same profile.
Mhm.
So I subscribe to the other one too.
Alright, we'll see if that one pops up. Test. I actually have that problem too, because I tried to separate my accounts at one point, and the way that Google did that before was really weird. So now I have like two names under the same account.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll see.
Whenever they rolled out usernames is when my account got fucked up.
Yeah, I've had my account for like, God, 15 years.
I don't even want to look to see my account creation date. I'm scared.
Now I'm curious.
You know what they should bring back? Google Plus.
God damn it.
Remember when Google tried to break into like social media?
Yep, and then auto-opted everybody in and then got sued for it.
How do I see my account creation date?
I'm sure it's in the settings, like the Google Gmail settings somewhere, but I don't know where. Alternatively, you could go all the way to the end of your favorites and get a rough estimate. See when you favorited your first video. And that will get you pretty close. But yeah, I'll let you know if I get a notification.
Will do.
Nothing on the
I
activity
know it
feed
was
yet.
definitely way before that.
Well,
I only have 14 liked videos. It's not that bad.
it's a lot of work to figure it out. They
Oh.
changed up so much in Google, that's pretty much the only way.
Yeah, classic example of we need to keep changing things to stay relevant. And never stopping to consider like, okay, but do we though?
Yep.
Do we need to change that?
It's like our software vendor pushed out an update for compliance reasons 2 days before, like a day or two before they hit, and then big surprise, it actually crashes their entire system.
I believe it.
And I still had weird behavior. I actually had it catching an old version after restarting the server and the workstation, clearing all temp files. I even broke the network share for where it loads the software, and it still pulled the old version. And I'm like, where is it getting this from? I even double checked the temp folder, and I even searched the entire drive for the exe, and it was nowhere to be found. And even offline, it was still pulling it, and I'm like, this is a network share not set up for offline. Where are you getting this from?
Don't worry about it.
I called for support, and I got a guy I've worked with a lot to the point we're on a first-name basis. And he was just as stumped as I was. And then I just did something incredibly stupid, and I got it working, and I'm like, I'm going to call it good.
Approximately February 2016. Because that's my oldest file in Google Drive.
Neat. Mine is definitely older than that. Like at least 2008.
Well, but the account that I use is linked to my use of the name Casey, which only started in like 2013-ish.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So I think my
Let me
Google
find
account
out.
is about 15 years old.
La da 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 da. Yeah, I still haven't gotten a notification on the like, even like the built-in YouTube notifications on their webpage. Nothing.
Doesn't surprise me.
I don't know how people like fucking stream on this website. It's such
I
a
don't
mess.
either.
It
All
is
of
such
Google's
a mess.
projects are always half finished unless it's their big money makers, because you're not rewarded for maintaining or fixing a product, only launching a new one. So everybody
Yeah.
jump ship.
Yeah. Let's see, where's my favorites list? Da 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 da. La da 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 da. Favorites. Where are you, favorites? Where's the favorites now? Why do they keep moving shit?
Because designers have to prove that they're more important than programmers.
Favorites. There it is. 4,000 videos. Let's see.
Is it favorites for you? I just saw liked.
Well, liked will work too. But back when I got my account, they didn't have likes.
Yeah.
They had stars. So. Wild
There's
West
cat
history
paws
be
here.
like.
The mayor's cat was here.
Well, of course. Alright, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Let me see how far back it will let me go before it crashes.
Did you send him that thing too?
Which thing?
The thing that you sent me.
Oh, I think I put it in the group chat, didn't I?
Oh, yes, you did.
I'm also kind of
Yeah.
curious to see what my oldest favorited video that's still around is.
That's the thing I've run into is just so many videos nuked, and I'm like, why would this account be nuked? Like, it's not even using anybody else's copyrighted content.
The date modified on this file is December 29th of 1899.
Yep. That's pretty normal default date.
September of 2015 is when I created this account.
Nice.
I'm pretty far back. I have hit the Dova Bear.
All right, well, I'm going to jump in the Soylent Green factory.
Borderlands 2 videos from when Borderlands 2 came out. Metal Gear Rising from when that came out. Fucking 12 years ago.
God, that game.
Harlem Shake.
God damn it. These are the ancient memes.
No, the ancient memes is 55.
Like Ken has cheeseburger.
Also that, yes.
White chicks and gang signs.
I don't know that one.
How to create a Hamachi Minecraft server.
God damn it. I remember Hamachi, Tungle, where they got hacked and shut down.
Man, everybody used Hamachi because port forwarding didn't make any fucking sense when you're fucking 11.
Yep. Or it
Did,
just didn't work properly. That was always fun.
Did y'all have? Well, you probably didn't have them, but did you know about Zynga?
Zanga.
Not Zynga, the app, the game app company. Zynga.
It sounds familiar.
I don't know.
It was like a precursor to like LiveJournal.
God, that sounds familiar.
That I had one of those when I was in middle school, and that's how my mom found out I'm not straight.
Mm.
I left mine open and had been talking about being bi
Yeah, that'll
when I
happen.
was 12.
Ooh, Aliens Colonial Marines debut gameplay trailer. 13 years ago.
All right, now you're just making me angry. Now I just want to pick somebody up and slam them through a table. Preferably be Randy Pitchford. Sorry, Randy Pitchford, you're dead.
Also,
Apologies.
Nico agrees that we will be committing murder.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
I can't say anything. My jailhouse lawyer, being myself, says don't say a word.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on, but if multiple people say you're committing a murder, then go ahead.
Do you follow Bull on Blue Sky? I don't know if he made the same post on Twitter, but I assume he probably did.
I don't know, I can check. Da, 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 da.
Kay also says yes.
Doesn't look like it. Let me check Blue Sky. Two days ago?
Yes?
Yeah, all I see is 2 days ago.
Hold on.
Okay, back to scrolling. This is taking a while.
Yeah,
I've got 4,000
that
videos.
one. From 2 days ago.
Okay, what about it?
Still there.
Still there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fun.
And, called for help and was ignored for hours, and this is not the first time.
Oh. Oh, yeah, no, I've totally fucking been there. Not me personally, but there with other people.
Yeah.
My account on YouTube is at least 17 years old.
That is old.
Pretty
Yeah.
old. I remember using YouTube back before Google bought it, because I remember being, I think I was in high school, and a friend of mine, we'd watch skateboarding videos in our computer class.
So the oldest favorite still on my list that I can open is Cringe, so I'm going to post the second oldest.
A Nevi.
Yeah, no, I've definitely fucking been there.
Yeah, so, fun fact, the state of Ohio got so fed up with issues with pharmacists being completely overworked and not enough people to safely do it. So they basically made a law that says if a pharmacist feels that they are overworked and understaffed, that they can stop working and the company has to hire more people. So,
Now I'm curious how old my account is for my dead name.
See.
And of course I'm not signed in with it.
Next step.
Because that is very likely my first Google account.
All right, Google is creating a copy of data. Let's see.
yeah, I like the corporate version takes a lot longer to generate.
Okay. That would be Gmail. I have this fun problem where I can't get this dead Gmail login out of my logins. So every time I open Gmail, it's like, hey, you want to log into the thing, right? And I'm like, no, I don't.
Is it a deleted account?
Want to fucking do that.
It's totally locked down, is the problem.
Oh.
So I can't log in, I can't change the password, I can't do anything. The only thing I can do is if I get a new phone number that has never been associated with a Google account, then I can get in. The problem is, you know, doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably help you do that if you really wanted to.
I already tried doing that other shit. I tried finding stuff.
Yeah, you probably are gonna have to get a phone number from the least populated U.S. areas, because there are some states who shall not be named who would probably have a good chunk of their number space that has never been used.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it.
Alright, where is this number at? Created on. Da, 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 da.
You only had to use an area code in Arkansas, like, within the last 10 years. Pretty sure it's more like 5.
Yep.
Account was created almost 15 years ago. Almost.
Because literally the entire state was 501.
Alright, that's enough of that. Back to cleaning. So, Vague knows about this. I will not get into details for obvious reasons, but I had the vice president of one of those hiring firms, like one of the bigger ones, contact me about a potential job offer that looked sus, but is not sus, but it looks sus. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I thought nothing of it too much about, like, the job specifically, like the level of the job. And I'm surprised Vague didn't say anything. Because you may or may not...
2009.
2009, huh?
April 2009 from my dead name account.
Damn. Well, you beat me out.
I'm literally Johnny.
You beat me by about a year.
Bro.
Vague, how come you didn't mention that? Or maybe I didn't send you that. Maybe I only sent it to Zilia. The position is for a principal software engineer.
Yeah, I don't think he sent me that one.
Yeah, I didn't send you that part. But I'm only an L2. That's a huge
Could you do the
jump.
job?
I haven't heard back yet.
No, could you do the job?
Probably. It depends on...
Okay.
Because it's a smaller company.
Yeah.
So, like, the guy that is the principal engineer on... Or one of the principal engineers. We have a couple of them. And then we have the, like, the guy that's in charge. We have a really big company. And a big program. This company only has, like, 17 employees. They've been around for a while, but... Like, there's nothing sus about it. It's just that they have a very small team. So,
Is it, like the same kind of work that you do now, or?
yeah. And hopefully not, morally questionable.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
That is always a concern.
We'll see if and when they get back to me.
I mean, I've seen The Good Place. I know the answer to that question.
Well, if The Good Place has taught us anything, minus the ending, it's that the point system is bullshit.
Yes. That's why I was generic.
And Janet is not a girl?
Janet simply is.
Mm-hmm.
There are some
What
things
about
that
Eric?
have female features, but saying that they're female feels inaccurate.
Janet. Derek.
Oh my god! Stop!
What?
Every time you move the fucking, yeah, that. It makes me stand up.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
weird bug. So weird. I gotta fix the thingamajig here. There we go. You know, it's funny because my first couple of multi-streams on YouTube pulled in, like, total views of, like, 20 to 30. And then they dropped off a fucking cliff.
YouTube has terrible discovery.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
I feel in some ways it's even worse than fucking Twitch somehow. I don't know how that happens.
They're both really bad.
It tends to always just come down to the fact that YouTube and Twitch have an incentive to promote bigger channels over anyone else.
Yeah. I do think it is worse on YouTube, though.
Yeah, I
because
think so too.
YouTube is not... It's like, it was not originally meant to be a live streaming platform.
No.
And it's like a lot of people still don't know that you can even do that.
Right.
And the person who designed the go live process for YouTube, I don't think has ever like actually.
Oh my god,
ever
it's
worked
so
on
fucking stupid backwards.
video production in their life.
It's so bad. It's like, I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking like, hey, YouTube, why don't you just copy Twitch and then eat the lawsuit?
You know, you can't copyright or patent a fucking go live button. So just put a button that says go live.
Seriously. But every time I go in and I have to update the stream info, and as soon as I go to the page to update the stream info, it fucking posts a video to the channel. And I'm like, that's not what I want.
Yep, and you have to hit other specific buttons if you actually want to go live.
Yeah.
I remember right.
Yes. Thankfully, the multi-stream makes that easy. Once I set it up right, I literally just hit a button on OBS and it works. Yeah, it bypasses all that nonsense. But yes, it's very stupid. The whole thing is very stupid and backwards. And I don't know how fucking HoloLive does it. Like, I would lose my fucking mind.
They probably hired a programmer to make everything easy. His name is Dave, and he has a ponytail, and he has an earpiece. If you know, you know.
What about the Valve guy? Andrew? Was that the intern, the famous intern at Valve's legal representation?
Oh, the guy who was the only one who spoke Korean, or was able to read Korean?
Yes.
And then it turns out, in their infinite wisdom, they sent over documents in Korean that basically proved they were doing illegal things.
Yep. It proved that they were doing illegal things to try and steal IP, property rights from Valve. Because, like, they weren't just trying to, like, get damages from, like, misuse of their copyright or whatever, right? Which was nonsense. But they weren't even just trying to do that. They were like, hey, you damaged our trademarks so completely that you have to give us Half-Life and Counter-Strike and Team Fortress.
Yep.
And it was like, what the fuck, bro? But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Andrew was the guy's name, but I can't remember.
Yeah. Nobody knows if he still works there or if he's considered one of the most valuable employees, because he wasn't mentioned in the recent documentary.
No, because he didn't work for Valve. He worked for their, like...
He was an intern, actually, if I remember right.
He was an intern at Valve's, like, legal representation company that they contracted.
I think he may have even been just a programmer.
They didn't have an in-house law team at the time, legal team.
Yeah.
I did hear recently that some congressmen are going after Steam.
Yep, which is so funny.
what?
To me.
I don't remember the details.
Yeah,
but they're trying to hit
saying,
them for, like, excessive adult material.
They're basically saying
stuff.
That, Steam is a haven platform for white supremacists, and
What?
they cite the ADL study that used fucking every post of a Pepe meme, if I remember right,
Yeah, that's
means
fucking
it's a hate
nonsense.
symbol. Every Pepe posted. So like, over 50% of the items posted were Pepe's. So they're like, yep, it's a racist symbol. Therefore, the entire platform is racist.
Right.
Even though 98% of the people who post Pepe memes don't know that it's a racist symbol.
Yep, and it's a symbol that got
This
co-opted.
goes
The author
full
has spent
circle
so
back
much.
to the conversation we had at the start of the
Right?
night.
Yeah. God, I feel bad for the creator. He spent so much time and money trying to like reclaim his intellectual property.
Yeah, but you know how Nazis are. They don't give a
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, but yeah, so basically definitely not because the senator who proposed it he's worth like 200 something $1 million, and definitely not because by forcing Valve to open up or sell off that other companies he's invested in doing business with would make
Yeah.
a ton of money.
That was the
Of course
the first suggestion that I saw was it's easy political capital. And nobody's ever gone after them before. So like it's a new thing that you can bank your campaign on and shit.
Yep.
And B, his investments and the fact that Valve is like an $8 billion private company.
Yep.
And people like him are pissed about all of the money that they're not making.
Yep.
That was the quote unquote conspiracy theory as to why he's going after them so hard.
Yeah, which is funny because sure you can make potentially that argument. There are a lot of it. There is a lot of it, but
I will
it's
tell you
like-
this. If the US government or whoever forces Valve to go public, I will 100% buy stock in that company immediately.
Yeah.
Because I know that at some point people will take it over and ruin it. Right?
Yep.
But until that happens, it's going to be a pretty valuable stock.
Yep.
Just got to sell it at the right point, that's all.
Yep.
If a private equity firm buys them up, just go. Just leave.
Yep.
Get the fuck out of there.
I'll be honest, a parasite and a virus are more valuable to the ecosystem than a private equity firm.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, that's the conspiracy theory for people out there, that they're going after them because of all of the money that Valve makes off of Steam, and none of it is publicly traded.
Yep. To put it in perspective, I would say the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs is more valuable for life on Earth than those type of companies.
Yeah, private equity are awful.
Yeah.
They are awful.
Yeah.
There's a reason why people are genuinely concerned about Valve if and when Gabe dies.
Yep.
I mean, when?
Yeah. Well, if. We don't know.
Well, was that Gabe just bought out 7 companies that are working on projects to extend human life or...
You mean like Peter Thiel? Thiel?
Yeah.
That's Peter Thiel's big thing,
Yep.
is he spends a ton of money on rejuvenation research because he doesn't want to die.
Yep.
My favorite
Funny enough,
explanation
that's
for that...
actually like a conversation I just had with one of the companions in Veilguard.
Oh,
about
yeah?
If or when I die, because he's a necromancer and he might become a lich.
Right. My favorite explanation for the Peter Thiel's investments in longevity research is the fact that no matter what happens, no matter how different he believes he is from everybody else, and better he believes he is than everyone else around him, he can still die. Which
Yep.
ultimately proves that he's no better than all of the poor immigrants that he hates.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, it's a genuine concern because, like, once Gabe Newell's gone, somebody else is going to take over. Or they're going to go public. God, fucking please don't. And you run into this problem. You run into the Empire problem, right? Even if the person that succeeds, Gabe, is really good too, what about the person after that? Right? Or the person after that?
Yep.
Eventually, somebody is going to take over the company, and some people in suits are going to walk in and be like, I will give you $100 million right now if you just make the company public. Right?
Yep.
That's going to happen.
And then you say, kiss my big fat white ass.
Well, I don't think anybody has made that deal to Gabe. But... and the other company leaders. But I could definitely see them trying that, and I could see him saying no. Because he comes across as the kind of person that realized a while ago that he had enough money.
Do whatever he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have enough money, and I have a pristine reputation. You know? People literally draw pictures of me as Jesus. Like, you can't get better than that.
I mean, he could probably form a private army of gaming fanatics.
Probably could.
He could definitely do that.
Yeah, it's like, Steam does have a bit of a problem with those groups, but is not as bad as it used to be. After basically, once Discord started cracking down on it, everyone cracked down to the extent they were allowed to by law.
Yeah, well, Nazis can go fuck themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They sure as shit better not be fucking any women. I don't want more Nazis.
I mean, Nazis can also be women.
Well, yeah, that's true. They better not be fucking any women either.
God damn it.
Lesbian
I would
Nazis.
just say, I would just say they better not be fucking anybody because they don't deserve the pleasure.
Fair.
Damn. Brutal.
Fair. Good old lesbian Nazis. Which do exist.
I mean, they probably do, yes.
They do exist. It's the endless problem of certain outgroups that are like, man, I really like these, a lot of these viewpoints that this hate group has. So I'm a Nazi even though they want to hang me.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Gay
happens.
Republicans.
Like gay Republicans. Or trans Republicans.
Yep.
Which are even worse, considering all of that rhetoric is, like, fresh.
Fucking Mark Robinson saying he's a black Nazi.
Yeah. It's like, no, you're not
So
a black
fucking
Nazi.
lost.
You think you're a Nazi. But they don't want
Do you
you.
see the shit the state assembly is, or the state
I did.
Congress is trying to
I did.
pull here?
I didn't read the details of what they tried to
Yeah.
smash into the relief funding, but I did see.
It's a whole bunch of bullshit.
Of course, because that's how it always goes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, we have to pass this so that people don't die. We'll sneak in a bunch of stuff, and then when people vote against it, we can be like, so-and-so
How dare
representative.
you vote against this funding for these poor people in Western North Carolina that got fucked by, yeah.
They do it all the time.
Where is Sherman when you need him? Where is the ghost of Litch or Revenant of fucking Sherman?
Where is the I'm going to burn down the South completely? Where is the general who literally invented scorched earth in the modern era?
Yeah. Sherman was fucking crazy.
Look, let me put it to you this way. If Sherman were a general in any other war, on any other side, he would be tried and hanged as a war criminal.
Yep.
Because the shit that he did was way past okay. But he also did a lot of good shit, so it's like, you know.
His tactics were also pretty good.
Yeah, he was a good general. Just, you know, maybe burning down hundreds and thousands of miles of civilian infrastructure. Not super allowed. You're not supposed to do that.
Well, the GV conventions did not exist.
Yeah, that's why I specified. Any later war on any other side, war criminal.
Who was it that was just like, we can end the Korean War just by nuking the divide between North and South, problem solved?
You want to take a bet?
Cobalt?
Nope.
Cobalt nukes?
Oh no. You want to take a bet who that was? Because I bet you can guess.
God, I know his name.
Is it your favorite?
It's the guy with the pipe.
God, I can see his
smoked
face,
the pipe.
I can't remember his name.
There's famous video of him returning to the Philippines in World War II.
MacArthur.
MacArthur, there you go.
I was like, I can see his face. Like,
Yes.
who the fuck is that?
MacArthur.
When he said pipe, I'm like, fucking MacArthur in the Philippines.
That very famous video of him in his fucking officer's uniform walking off the boat onto the beach. MacArthur was a fucking war hero.
War hero and a madman.
He was a problematic guy. Let's be real. Even beforehand, before the Korean War. And the suggestion of let's just use nukes. The fact that MacArthur went to fucking Harry Truman, a man who was very well aware of the fact that he might go down in history as the only U.S. president to ever authorize the use of nuclear weapons, and was like, we should use a bunch of nuclear weapons, and thought that was going to go over well.
He's a madman, but not in the same way as Sherman.
Like, sir, do you know what you're proposing? You're not just proposing ending the war, and at that point you're not proposing, like, ending all life on Earth, because we had not hit that point yet. But, like, you're talking about turning millions of people into refugees and rendering large swaths of Korea uninhabitable for decades at a minimum. Like, and the civilian casualties would have been off the fucking charts.
That also reminds me, somebody suggested using nukes the same way to make another Panama Canal.
Yeah. They did do
like,
testing with that for making harbors.
Yeah.
Like how viable it was to, like, detonate nuclear weapons in areas where you'd like to build a harbor, but, like, the seafloor is not, like, conducive to it. To, like, basically terraform the seafloor so that you could turn it into a harbor. Because you can only build harbors in certain places.
Yep.
And yeah, they did test it. They tried it a couple of times to see, like, well, how, like, will this work? Just in case anybody is curious, no, it really doesn't work. You need to use a lot of nukes to terraform that much underwater seabed, and it's fucking really bad for the environment to do that.
I mean, the environment could take one for the team, right?
So, yeah, it's not great. Just don't.
See, while you're hearing, this is bad for the environment, I'm hearing, we need to just build better bombs. We need to build cold fusion weapons.
Yeah. You know, the Korean War came up on Twitter the other day. There was a viral post where someone posted a GIF of the changing front line over the course of a war. And one of the things that people pointed out, which I agree with, is that the Korean War is severely undertaught in school.
Yep.
I feel like people really don't know a whole lot about what fucking happened in that war.
Nope. It was a shit show. My grandfather was there.
Yeah, it was bad. You know, Chinese human wave tactics
Yep.
and the American viewpoint of we can't officially acknowledge that China, that like most of the people we're fighting now are Chinese soldiers,
Yep.
even though they're wearing Chinese uniforms, using Chinese equipment, and clearly speaking Chinese. Nobody's
Yeah.
allowed to officially acknowledge it because then we would have to admit that we're at war with China.
That just reminds me of, I think it was the Korean War. There was a Chinese soldier there that was American, and he was on the front lines, and he basically pretended to be a Chinese soldier and would fuck with them by saying trash talking them in Chinese.
It's funny.
He just
There were also a lot of
absolutely
Russian MiG
fucked with
pilots in Korea.
them. Yep.
And again, they were not allowed to acknowledge the fact that there were Russian MiG pilots
Yep.
officially. And the Russians tried a little bit. So they, over the radios, when they were just doing like basic shit, they had translation cards that they would speak in Korean. Obviously without the accent. You got a Russian guy in a Russian accent speaking broken Korean. And then the second the bullets start flying, they switch right back to Russian.
Yep.
But yeah, another example of we can't officially acknowledge the fact that there are Russian pilots killing Americans in Korea, because then we would have to acknowledge the fact that we are, in a way, at war with Russia.
Yep. It just reminds me, I read a story, I think it was in Soldier of Fortune, about special forces teams, the MAC guys in Vietnam, and how they would be doing flybys and they'd see Russians and they go to land and the Russians would just fucking scatter because nobody wants to have that be the incident. And then sometimes the Russians would come on the radio and trash talk them. And they're like, we're going to kill you, Americans. We're going to get you and kill all of you. And one time the guy got so fed up with the guy because he's like, yeah, we know your coordinates. And the guy's like, motherfucker, you know, tell you what, here is my, 6-digit coordinates on the fucking map. Come get me, motherfucker. It was so funny just listening to the
Oh my
dialogue
God.
these two had with each other.
Have we done the aquarium?
I don't think so. And we should have enough time for one more, as long as it's not gigantic.
And yeah, of course, he was at the top of the hill. And yeah, the Russian never came because, yeah, going to fight a special forces team uphill is probably not a winning battle.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
So,
Foxy, why did it kick me?
I don't know.
It
I've been
kicked me.
kicked. Alexa,
fuck?
play the theme song from the Incredible Hulk show.
But yeah, if you watch the timeline of the Korean front line, the North Koreans pushed the South Koreans and slightly later the American army all the way back to a little bulge on the eastern coast of South Korea. Like, they took like 95% of the country, right?
Yep.
And then the landing on like right near the middle of Korea on the western coast that I forget the name of, which is annoying because it's a very famous one. Basically, the Americans doing a repeat of D-Day.
Yep.
And you watch on the timeline as North Korea's army is like pushing the South Korean army and the American army back into like maybe 1,000 square miles tops, a very small portion of Korea. And then this landing happens, and the North Korean army collapses so completely that in a very short period of time, the American and South Korean armies push all the way to within 5 miles of the China border. And then the Chinese army got involved to help North Korea. And it pushed all the way back to roughly where the borders are now.
Yep.
And I don't know the exact numbers, but like a rough calculations of so when America did the landing and started pushing into the north was the only time when the Western forces had more troops on the ground than North Korea and China. And once China invaded, they had twice as many troops at any given moment for the rest of the war. The American troops were outnumbered at least 2-1 for the rest of the war. And the casualty numbers for the Chinese troops compared to the American troops are astronomical.
Yep.
I mean, I can't remember what it is, but it's like fucking 15-1 in some places.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Like every American and South
God.
Korean soldier killing 15 Chinese troops each. Just ludicrous.
Yep.
You do not own this add-on. Fuck.
It's free.
Buckingham Part 3?
I think so.
Well, let's find out. Game? I think I broke it.
I mean, that's what we're both good at, AWOL.
La
Breaking
da da
things.
da da. It's true. Buckingham Part 3 is free. Yes.
Yeah, at work today, I had somebody try to fix something, and then they forgot to unfix their test to fix it. So I had to like go through my brain and rack my mind. I'm like, okay, what boxes did he change?
Also, if you were curious, your subscribe notifications have not shown up yet.
Wow.
Not on my activity feed or on YouTube itself.
Mine either.
Nope, nothing.
Wow.
I haven't gotten the email either. I did get a like on TikTok, though. I am currently downloading Dirt. I will be right back.
Okay.
It's a good opportunity to take a quick break. But Jesus Christ, what happened in here?
A whale exploded.
Really?
No.
Oh. I mean, I would believe it. They make a big mess when they blow up. Most things do.
Stand right here.
Yep.
Now come here.
Okay.
Hit tab.
Oh!
Did you flashbang poor AWOL again?
Yes, but that was not the point of doing that.
Oh.
Did you see?
See what? What do I see?
In the glass.
Dick?
Yeah.
There we go. I was having trouble. I was like, what is that? I see the vague outline of letters.
Come here.
Okay.
Hit tab. No, from back here.
Wow, that's interesting.
A lot of
I'm assuming
orange.
Dick Tracy was here.
Yep. Totally.
No, Dick Nixon.
Dick
Oh.
Nixon.
No
Fuck
longer
Dick
the
shit.
worst president we've had in the last 100 years.
You okay?
Everything hurts.
No. Am I gonna have to go beat up the universe?
Can we, like, submit a bug report with God? Is that possible?
I would like to. I have a
Well,
lot
this
of
time
things.
it's not God's fault. It's humanity's fault
Oh, fair.
because it's a drug side effect.
Gotcha. So, something interesting happened to me today, and I'm wondering if I should even talk about it. Because I was on my walk, and around the block that I do at work, and I looked up, or I was walking, and I saw someone walking towards me, right? And then I looked down at my phone for like 15 seconds to pick a new song to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up, and they were fucking gone. And I was like, did they walk past me? No. I turn around, I look, no, they didn't walk past me. Did they walk into the parking lot over there? No, they're not there. And I'm like, this motherfucker just disappeared off the surface of the fucking planet. Like, they were there, and then they weren't.
Were there any, like, trees or anything?
No, I don't fucking know. I was like, I immediately was like, okay, I don't see them, which means they either went somewhere weird, like they went behind a tree or something, and they're just, I can't see them from where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Or they were abducted.
Yep.
If it's the former, then I'm gonna look like a fucking weirdo walking around trying to find this person. And if it's the latter, I don't want to fucking know.
Yeah.
So I'm better off just going about my day.
Probably, yeah.
I had that happen while I was driving once, where there was, I swore that there was another car behind, so I was at an intersection, and to my left, there was a car waiting to make a right-hand turn, and I was 95.95% sure that there was another car behind that car that I saw, right? And I look over, and I see that car and the car behind it, and then I look back in front of me, and then look back over, and that other car fucking disappeared. Like it was gone.
I don't know if this will be comforting or not, but witness reports are notably unreliable.
This is true. This is very true, and that is my only comfort, is that my brains and eyes play tricks on us.
Mm-hmm.
It happens.
Definitely a thing that happens, yes.
But it was one of those moments Both times where I was like, huh, a thing that I was pretty sure was there is not there. And I'm not sure how to feel about this.
Yeah. I have had similar incidents.
Usually it will be things like you can't find a sock or something, and it's just disappeared off the face of the fucking earth, and it's like, it could have ended up somewhere, right?
So many things have disappeared in the move. I can't find my fucking external hard drive that
That's
has
crazy.
literally all of my documents on it. I don't
That's
save
crazy.
anything directly on my internal hard drives except games.
Right.
Everything else is on my external hard drive, and I have no fucking idea where it is.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Don't forget the controller.
The controller also disappeared, but that's not as huge of a deal because I was probably going to be replacing it in the near future anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very annoying.
It is. But sometimes those things just happen. It's like, it's somewhere, probably.
God, what else did I lose? I lost the legs for my bed. I lost
That's a weird
the legs for the TV.
That's also a weird one.
I lost... I did end up finding the legs for the TV. I still have not found the legs for the bed.
Right. Those things
Oh.
kind of happen, just to make my point really quick. Those things kind of happen, and you're just like, they're probably like in a box somewhere, or like
Yeah.
you left it behind, or whatever.
Yeah.
But the other things, the things I was talking about, are
Yeah.
you look at the bed and there are legs on the bed, turn around, turn back around, there are no legs, the bed is on the floor, and has it always been that way?
The Mandela effect?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah. Sort of.
Kinda, sorta. It's like that. It's rare
Yeah.
for it to happen that fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you see a thing, turn around, turn back around, the thing is fucking gone. But yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, I imagine that people generally lose a lot of shit in their moves.
Yeah. But the external hard drive specifically, I didn't pack it in the stuff that got put in the pods. I had that with me the entire time.
Right.
I remember having it at multiple points of while between my condo and moving in here.
Right.
No idea where it is. And the legs to replace the ones for my bed, they were like $30 or something. It wasn't a big deal.
Right. But, Oxy, did the bed ever have legs?
Yes. It did. Can't
Are you sure?
Yes. I have an adjustable bed base. It has to have legs.
Until you go to attach the legs and find that there's no holes for them. There were never any legs. There was never a bed frame.
God damn it.
There are 4 lights. How many lights are there, Bake?
I don't know.
And that's the correct answer. In 1984, that's the correct answer.
I don't know nothing, man.
And, God, it's been such a long time. In the... I can't remember if it's the book or the movie version of 1984. I'm pretty sure it's in the book. In the movie, they changed it
I
to
don't
something
think
else.
I knew
but
there was a movie.
Yep.
it's decent. Like, obviously, it's not as, well explained as the book is.
Yeah.
Like, the point.
They never are.
They never are. but it's still good and it still gets the point across.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know if I ever actually read 1984. I read Brave New World.
Brave New World is good. Brave New World is the 1984 but drugs.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as the more likely 1984.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with the torture scene near the end is the agent will say, how many fingers am I holding up, right? And the first time, the guy jokingly says a different number, and then gets shocked, right? And after he gets shocked, the guy does it again, and he says, how many fingers am I holding up? And he says the correct number, and then he gets shocked, right? And this keeps going for a while until the guy has been shocked multiple times. And when the guy asks, how many fingers am I holding up? He just pleads, I don't know. And that's when he finally lets him out. Because it's not about the truth. But yeah, that's the correct answer. And the 1984, how many fingers am I holding up, is, I don't know.
Yep.
Well,
I also
correct.
love the movie
Correct is
Brazil.
relative. It's the one that gets you to stop getting electrocuted.
Yep. Have you ever seen the movie Brazil?
No. I have not.
That one is really good. It's along the same lines. And I actually had that happen to me at work, because the big plot point is they switched the name Tuttle and Buttle. And I actually had that happen on a database, and I just sat there, like, on the verge of cry laughing for a minute before my older coworker came over and was like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And I pointed it out to him, and he had seen the movie too, and people just broke out laughing and probably looked like two madmen. Because we were the only ones who had seen the movie and, like, realized how fucked up that was.
The four lights thing is the Star Trek Next Generation version of the 1984 scene. Picard gets captured by the Cardassians, and they're torturing him. And there's a bunch of lights, like spotlights. There's 4 of them. And the Cardassian keeps trying to convince Picard that there are 5. I think 5, I'm pretty sure. And Picard refuses to say that there are 5 lights. And
Because he's Picard.
Right, because he's Picard. And at the very end of the episode, Picard gets rescued. It's honestly, it's one of his better acting performances. Like, if you don't watch Star Trek much at all, you should watch that fucking episode, just that episode, because it's really good. Right when he's getting rescued, the Cardassian asks him one final time, how many lights are there? And Picard stands there for like 45 seconds staring at it, and then yells out that there are 4 lights. And like the last scene of the episode is him talking to Counselor Troy, I think it was Counselor Troy, saying that in that moment, I wasn't sure how many lights there were. It looked like there were 5.
I can't believe Kim
It's a very good
Kardashian
episode.
did that.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
believe that Kim Kardashian.
That's another month.
No.
Damn.
Oh, fuck.
Damn. Damn.
Hey, Wall, do you think there are any spots left on the initial Martian settlement?
No, that never happened, remember?
Didn't happen yet? Damn.
Remember that big Mars colony thing like 10 years ago? That
No,
was
I don't.
like a big scam to collect people's data?
That sounds about right.
But yeah, really, really, really good episode of Star Trek.
Yep.
Another good one is Deep Space Nine in the Pale Moonlight is the best Star Trek
I
episode
was
in my opinion.
literally just gonna fucking say that.
But
I don't like Deep Space Nine.
I love Deep Space Nine. I think that Deep Space Nine has a lot of bad episodes, but I think that the overarching story of Deep Space Nine is its most compelling point. But anyway, In the Pale Moonlight is, in my opinion, the best Star Trek episode ever. But it only works if you know Star Trek. You can't just watch that episode.
How well do you have to know Star Trek?
You have to be very well aware of what the Federation considers okay and morally good.
Okay. I'd be fine though.
So then you're probably fine.
Yeah. Like I've seen, I grew up watching Next Gen and Voyager.
Yeah, so
and
then
I
you'd be
have
good.
watched both since then.
You would be good as long as you have an understanding of that.
Yeah.
The only context you need is
And I
the
watched,
overarching story that's going
The
on.
first season of Picard, and I watched...
I'm
I
sorry.
don't think I ever finished Enterprise, but
I'm
I
very sorry.
definitely saw like the first 2 or 3 seasons. About Picard or Enterprise or both.
Mostly Picard. Enterprise has good parts.
Yeah.
Enterprise
I don't know,
has
I
good
like
stuff. And Enterprise, I think Enterprise is the one that's the most like, there are parts that are really good and parts that are like, why are we even doing this?
And
For me.
that's not what would have been a cool plot point. Cough, cough.
Yeah, well. Voyager is the second worst for that one, in my opinion, where there are some episodes of Voyager that are really good and definite watches, and then some that are like, you don't need to ever watch this. You gain nothing.
What's your opinion on the original series?
You should try to watch most of it, but it's a little hard now.
I will not, but...
I watched all of the must-watch episodes and a handful of others.
I'm basically planning on just watching the must-watches from the original series.
Yeah, it can be
'Cause
difficult.
I fucking can't with Shatner. I just can't.
You really can't.
Nope.
There are 2 episodes that I don't
Captain
know. I don't know if they're must-watches. I can't remember. There's the one with God, which is really good. That one's a must-watch.
The only one I remember is the Tribbles episode, honestly.
That one's also a must-watch, just because the Tribbles keep showing up.
It is. They're iconic, yeah.
But then there's, I don't know if these ones are must-watches. The Lincoln one,
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
that's a good one. Big fan. And the one where Shatner shows a bunch of people the Declaration of Independence, or the Constitution, I forget which one.
And I definitely... The one where Sulu and Uhura kiss.
Yeah, that's another must-watch. But the one where, I think it's the Declaration of Independence, he takes an purposefully enshittified copy, so it looks like old paper, and starts reading it to these people on this fucking planet, and it's so stupid. And I don't remember that being a good episode, but you have to watch it just for that scene, because it is so absurd.
Maybe.
It's like, sir, they completely lack the context for this legal document. This means nothing to them.
But Diplomat AWOL, how will they learn about having a good society full of laws and rules and regulations? I'm violating the Prime Directive, aren't I? I'm going to Starfleet jail.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that violates the Prime Directive.
On probably multiple fronts.
Yeah. But, yeah, In the Pale Moonlight is, in my opinion, the best episode of Star Trek ever written. Period. But you need the context of what the Federation's morals are and principles are,
Yeah.
and also the context of
Well,
the Federation
I mean, so
is
Deep Space
in...
Nine, I am planning on watching the full thing.
I do recommend that. There are
Like,
some episodes you can definitely skip.
Honestly,
But-
like, the original series is the only one that I'm like, I will not. I will not.
I wish we could stream it. I would totally just sit here and watch Deep Space Nine for hours with people on Twitch.
I'm planning on doing a rewatch of the entire franchise.
I would 100% be down for that. I haven't watched TNG or Deep Space Nine in like 10 years. I used to come home from school, high school. I would come home from high school and I would sit down with a bag of chips and I would watch like 3 episodes of Deep Space Nine back to back. And TNG and all of them. Voyager and Enterprise are the only ones where I only watched certain episodes. I did watch the one of the bad episodes of Voyager, the one where Neelix and Tuvok merge into one person.
Tuvix.
Tuvix, yes. That's an episode that people universally do not like. But I had to watch it because it's so meme-worthy.
I don't know that I dislike that episode. I dislike the way that things were handled in the episode.
Yeah, that's fair. Or, another episode that you have to watch, even though it's not a very good episode, is the Warp 10. The Warp 10 episode where Paris and Janeway turn into lizards and have babies.
I don't know. I must have like mentally blocked that out.
Good. So they were trying to get the... It's not the runabout. What is it called in Voyager?
I can't remember if I know what you're talking about.
The shuttlecraft.
The shuttle?
No, it has a name in Voyager. Fuck. Anyway. They're trying to figure out how to go faster so they can, like, get back sooner.
Mm-hmm.
So they do a bunch of modifications to the shuttlecraft to try and hit Warp 10, right? And they do, and it causes genetic mutations, like horrific genetic mutations. And ultimately, Janeway and Tom Paris devolve into lizards, get pregnant, and have children on some planet before the Voyager crew can figure out how to re-evolve them back to people.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely blocked that out.
It's bad. It's so bad. But you have to watch it. Because it's really bad.
I'm going to. I told you, the only thing I'm
Yeah.
skipping any of is original series.
So,
But yeah.
is this another
yeah.
one of those TV episodes that's one of the writer's thinly veiled fetishes?
It might be, man.
Probably.
It fucking might be.
I think that's a big problem.
I have
'Cause
read
it's
a Mass
rough.
Effect fanfic that's plot is similar to that, honestly.
I feel that's sort of a big problem with cartoons and TV these days is you end up with episodes or like certain segments of episodes that are literally just the fucking author's thinly disguised fetish, and you're like, I'm not
I
stupid.
found the gnome.
Yeah, where is the gnome?
It's right here.
Oh, there he is.
We need to rescue him. He doesn't have a mask on. He can't breathe underwater. We only have a couple minutes. There's no hatch. We can't
But-
save him.
There was another episode of Deep Space Nine that I was going to say is really good, and now I can't remember what it was.
There's parts of Deep Space Nine that I like. Like, so I like some of the characters a lot. I don't like Cisco.
Cisco is a very different Starfleet captain.
Yeah.
And in the Pale Moonlight, you might have trouble with for that reason. Because he's the main character of that episode.
Yeah.
It's basically just him and Garrick, aka one of the best written characters in Star Trek.
That the Romulan?
Cardassian.
Cardassian.
He's the Cardassian that lives on the station.
Yeah. Yeah.
In exile.
Okay. Yeah, I like him.
He's one of the best written characters in Star Trek. And basically every single Garrick episode is a good episode. They're all good. All of them.
I wonder how he spells his name.
Garrick?
Yeah.
Garak.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the people that I play D&D with in Bull's campaign is Garuk.
Ah. But yeah, Garrick is great. Bashir is pretty good once he comes into his own.
Yeah, I like Bashir.
Early on,
I
Bashir is a little
I like
but
Jadzia.
Jadzia, yeah, she's good too.
Yeah. I don't remember if I like Esri.
Esri, they were going for something very
I like
specific
that
with
actress.
Esri. Yes.
I don't know if I like that character.
Yes, they were going for something very specific with Esri that is a little grating at times, I will admit.
Yeah.
Because like her whole thing is that symbiote was going to die.
Yeah.
And they had to put it in someone, and she was the only person. And she was not ready for it.
Yeah. Big, do you remember who that actress is?
The name sounds familiar.
Kind of cute.
It's the lady from Dead Zone.
Oh yeah, Nicole DeBoer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see
Quark
her
is
face,
good.
I'm like, I know that name.
The Ferengi really come into their own in Deep Space Nine.
Yes.
Instead of
Ferengi
like in
women and
TNG
Boston.
where they're just like meme material.
Yeah.
You gotta watch
They
the
get-
Ferengi episodes in TNG too. This is not for you. This
Well,
is
and
just
then
in
like
general.
the
Because they're
Ferengi
silly.
kid. What's the Ferengi kid?
It's
It's like friends with Jake.
Hold on. Hold on. Is it Nog? Or is that
I
the
think so.
dad?
I think it's Nog.
What's the dad's name? It's Quark, Nog, and
Yeah.
Quark's
Is it
brother.
Quark? Isn't Quark the dad?
No, Nog is Quark's brother's kid.
Oh.
I can't remember. But Nog, if it's Nog, is one of the only people to quote unquote pass the Kobayashi Maru.
The what?
Kobayashi Maru.
You don't know the Kobayashi Maru?
No.
It's the test that you have to take at Starfleet that you're supposed to fail.
Hmm.
The whole point is to fail. And there are very few people that have passed it, quote unquote.
Legitimately.
Kirk passed by cheating.
Yep.
And his whole thing was that there are no such thing as unwinnable situations,
Yeah.
which defines his character. Nog passed the Kobayashi Maru because it's basically just an incredibly in-depth simulation. Nog was so good at negotiations, like from a like capitalist negotiations.
I mean Ferengi.
Right.
So.
He was so good at it, and he had spent so much time negotiating with Klingons. And I don't know if the Kobayashi Maru was still Klingons at this point, because that's what it was in the original series. Is Klingon ships, or the Kobayashi Maru is dead
Those
and
Romulans.
damaged on the other side of the demilitarized zone or whatever. And how do you rescue them or whatever? No matter what you do, you lose. That's the whole point. And at one point it was Klingons, and then I think they changed it to Romulans because
Yep.
the Klingons became allies. I don't remember. All I know is that Nog is one of the only people to pass because his negotiating with the Romulans or the Klingons became so in-depth that the program crashed. It couldn't handle it.
Yep.
Like, he broke it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was I want to say it was Sulu from the original crew also beat it. I don't remember exactly who it was.
I don't remember how.
But he beat it just by the fact that he knew, I think it was Romulan law, and there was a super ancient law in the books that allowed him to, I think, do one-on-one combat with the
That may have
captain
been
of the
Riker.
ship. Yeah, somebody did that. So
I
it
think
basically
Riker
forced
did
him
that
to
with the
stand down.
Klingons.
That definitely sounds like a Riker thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember the details. I'd have to check Memory Alpha.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It may have been Sulu with the Romulans or Riker with the Klingons, but yeah, that was how they won. Was they challenged the captain to a duel, one-on-one combat.
Yep, and he's like, get everybody out of here and go.
That is another creative one. There are a handful of creative solutions to the Kobayashi Maru that certain people have come up with. Kirk cheated, obviously, as everybody knows, but
Also
he
checks
cheated
out.
in a way that like is very Kirk. Like it fits his character. And then Nog passed because the Vulcans that wrote the program did not account for the fact that Ferengi are really good at negotiating.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine the Science Academy. The Ferengi did what? The simulation, he managed to buy the entire Klingon Empire during the training scenario?
he crashed the simulation because he was good.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, there are other people that have passed the Kobayashi Maru, quote unquote, passed for different reasons. And it is fun. It's a fun little test. The test that you're guaranteed to fail unless you're a main character. And only if you're a main character that they've found a clever way to make them win.
So what you're saying is, I need to write a Star Wars series, include it, have some random no-name character complete the scenario, have the main character fail, and then never let anybody else ever write about the character again because he promptly goes to lunch and chokes on a hot dog to death.
Yes. Everything you just said.
Sounds like a fanfic in the making.
I know, right? I'll just become a billionaire and then just buy Star Trek.
God, if I rewatch TNG, there are definitely some episodes that I'm not looking forward to watching.
Have you seen any of the newer series?
Fuck no.
Yeah,
Discovery at least had a handful of good things in it.
I've heard good things about Lower Decks.
Lower Decks is also good, but that's also like a comedy, so it's different.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, it's good in the same way that Teen Titans Go is good, but it's not as good as Teen Titans.
That just reminded me that...
Never forget the Mpreg episode.
God damn it. All right, I'm leaving.
The Mpreg
Always
episode
forget
of
the
Teen
Mpreg
Titans Go.
episode.
God damn it.
Ooh. You
I
guys
never
want to
watched
know?
that. Don't plan to, but always forget the Mpreg episode.
You guys want to know the very first episode of Star Trek I ever watched? It was a really good one to start on. No, TNG.
What was it?
It was the episode where Picard's brain gets scanned by some alien satellite, and he lives out his life on their dying planet.
Oh God, I know what episode you're talking about.
And he tries to save them. And, like, he gets married and has kids and, like, lives out his whole life. Right?
Yep.
And the end of the episode is the launch of the rocket, which had the satellite on it. And that this was their thing, is that we couldn't save our planet, so we used our technology to create this satellite so that people would remember us.
And the flute.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that where the flute comes from?
Yep.
Holy shit, that's so good. That makes so much sense. But yeah, that was the very first episode of Star Trek I ever watched. It
Yep.
was on like Sci-Fi Channel or something, and I saw the whole episode from start to finish, and I was like enraptured because it's such a good episode.
That's such a like sci-fi trope, though.
It is.
Happened to O'Neill. Happened to Commander Shepard. Yeah.
Shit, man, I'm pretty sure it happens to O'Neill more than once.
No, I think O'Neill only had it once. Because it was the one where
They go to the
They-
planet where people get old really fast.
yeah,
Yeah.
like their whole lives are like 21 days or something.
Right. And they come back, and the last time they come back, O'Neill was like fucking 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
a good one.
he
I like
was-
that episode.
There was a girl, like, I think her name was like Cynthia.
Yeah, I don't remember. Kiss my Anthea.
I was just gonna make a joke like that, or did
From
Mike
Role
Tyson
Models?
win that character?
I really liked Role Models. It was a funny movie.
It was a good movie.
I saw it in theaters. Tell her you want to see her whispering eye. Although I will say the whole conversation of the one guy teaching the little kid how to look at boobs without looking at boobs was a little iffy.
Yeah. A lot of stuff has not aged well.
No, not at all.
Paul Rudd has.
This is true.
Paul Rudd is not even human anymore, let's be honest.
Keanu Reeves. You can do a lot with money and the right jeans.
I mean, pair of Levi's.
Wow.
My favorite thing is when really old people will pick a ridiculous thing to tell everybody about why they think they've lived so long. And then people believe it. Like, oh yeah, ever since I turned 50, I've been eating a pine cone every day.
I've been smoking a pack of cigarettes since I was 4 years old, living in a...
Betty White's answer was hot dogs.
Yeah.
Honestly, hot dogs are not that bad for you.
God.
She had hot dogs for lunch every single day.
And they're really not that bad for you if you cook them, like, well. Like, they're not that bad. They got a lot of weird shit in them, but it's a lot
Just
better
get the
than...
kind that have less weird shit in them.
Yeah. They have...
God, but-
Hot dogs were full of weird shit by the standard of 100 years ago, and by today's standard, they're healthy.
You know what's really funny is I actually, in one of the books I read in college, was about processes and how you do things. And there was a place that made hot dogs that upgraded all their equipment, bought all the newest equipment and machines to make their processes more efficient. But they ran into a problem. Their hot dogs, instead of coming out hot dog color, came out green, and they couldn't figure it out. And eventually, after reverse engineering the old process, they figured out that if they didn't walk around the products for a certain amount of time that it took in the old factory, they wouldn't turn out the right color. So they basically had to retool their factory to increase the amount of time they had to walk the product between lines, and then the hot dogs came out the right color again.
So fucking weird.
Yep.
But I believe it. There's a book that's been on my Amazon wish list for a long time called The Design of Everyday Things. that's all about why things are designed the way that they are. The front cover of the book is a teapot where the handle and the spout are on the same side. It's like, obviously, this is not correct. But you don't always know why things are done a certain way. Like, it makes sense that you put the spout on the opposite side, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's basic common sense, but you ever wonder why the spout is shaped the way it is? Because there's a reason.
Yep. That reminds me of another book. So after Anton Yelkin got crushed by a car, it was a few years later, I saw a book that basically it's written why humans need tactile feedback with things that are dangerous. Like why having a, radio dial to park your car is a terrible plan because there's no tactile feedback that, I put the brake on.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
And a lot of things that have touchscreens should not be touchscreens.
100% agree.
It should be buttons. Humans need to know, I hit this button, this happens. So if you don't hear the click or feel the click, you know you did not do it.
Now that you say that, I think that's probably part of the reason I don't like having buttons for changing gears in my car.
Yep.
Yeah, I hate that. I don't like it.
I hate it. That and the exterior color are literally the only things I don't like about my car.
I hate that. That is a deal breaker for me. If you are giving me a brand new car, 2024 brand new car for $10, and it has a fucking one of those, I won't take it. I don't want it.
I had very little choice at the time because I had totaled my old car, and it was during, it was at the height of the chip shortage during the pandemic.
Oh,
so.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'd rather be homeless because I can't keep my job.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sorry, housing embarrassed.
God damn it.
I'm housing embarrassed. I have a home, but it's an embarrassment.
That's definitely one way to put it. But yeah, a lot of things. This is one of the reasons why we can't just go back to the moon, because people don't understand why. Like, oh, well, we already did it. Just build the same rockets again, right? And
Yeah.
part of the problem is that the companies that made the parts for those rockets just don't exist anymore. So you'd have to find new people to make them, and they would have to get their tooling up and yada yada yada. The other problem is we don't actually know how to build those rockets anymore.
How?
We just don't. Like, we have blueprints, right? But the blueprints are not right. Because of these are like absurdly complicated machines. And there are an infinite number of little details that went into constructing and maintaining them that was just never written down. If you've ever worked in software, you know exactly what this is like.
Yep.
It's like someone wrote this script 10 years ago to do this thing. Nobody knows how it works.
Yep.
Could not tell you.
Yeah, and it's even down to the microchip level of NASA is buying computer chips off fucking eBay because that is the only source you can still get some of these chips, because they know all of the defects and little quirks of the chip itself, so they can work around any issues that will arise.
Right. The Martian movie is really good for this, and the book too. The Martian book is really good. If you watch the movie and did not read the book, you should read the book.
I read the book. I haven't seen the movie.
There's a bunch of scenes in that, like, the two best parts about The Martian, the movie and the book, are the humor, because it's incredible.
The humor is really good. Yeah.
The humor is really good. And just, oh god, what's the astronaut's name?
Matt Damon?
Yeah, Matt Damon. And just Matt Damon explaining his way through problems. Specifically the author in this case, since, he wrote the book.
Yeah.
Like, explaining the way through problems. Like, when he goes to get the old rover. It wasn't Opportunity. Discovery, maybe? I don't remember.
I think they made up names. I don't think it was actually.
Probably not. But he goes to get the old rover. And he goes through all of the stuff that he has to figure out in order to make this trip possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's like 15, 20 pages of the book that are just the main character explaining how to solve the problems of going to get this rover and bringing it back without damaging it. And it is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the two things that make The Martian movie and book so good.
I mean, if I had a nickel for every movie where somebody had to go to another planet or place to save Matt Damon, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's strange it's happened twice.
It may have happened more than, to be honest.
True.
Matt Damon's really good at getting into pickles.
That is true.
It's like Sean Bean dying in every movie.
Yep.
Like, eventually it becomes a joke, so you have to keep doing it.
Yep. So what you're saying is I need to get Sean Bean's movie death counter up by just funding a bunch of B movies, paying Sean Bean a bunch of money, and then killing him in each of them.
Pretty much, yeah.
Can you imagine approaching Sean Bean as like, I have like 40 movies for you to star in. You're going to die in each of them, and you only have to be on set for like 2 days a movie.
I mean, a lot of actors would be down for that.
That is, I was actually making a second level joke on that, because that is literally Robert, I believe it's Robert Davies does that. He would literally...
Everything Bruce Willis did once he started losing his mind.
Yep.
He did a ton of shitty B movies just to collect paychecks.
Yep, Robert Davies does that. He'll literally take pretty much any movie, and he'll stay there the exact number of days you pay him for. He'll do whatever you want, and then he's gone.
Yep.
He's like, I like acting, but also I like paychecks. So I get to do both.
Yeah, I read most of The Martian while I was camping in New York. Didn't have any service, so... All I had to... Keep it first.
I briefly had a book club, and that was one of the things we read.
Very good book. Lots of fun. Lots of good science, too. The author is smart enough not to go into too much detail on things. Like, give just enough detail to keep the readers interested, but not so much that scientists will look at it and be like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Or worse, you accidentally create a new field of science.
That has happened.
Yep.
You read The Martian on vacation.
Yeah, I read The Martian on vacation. We planned the vacation months in advance because of how hard it is to get camping sites nowadays. At any popular parks. And that week, it was unbearably hot every single day. Like, record-shattering for that area of New York. So I spent every day that we weren't doing stuff. So we could only do so much hiking and stuff every day because it was like fucking miserable. So when we were hanging out during the hotter hours, just trying to stay cool, I read The Martian and listened to the radio. I have a little emergency radio that I always take with me camping. And I was able to get a handful of FM stations up on the mountain. So we just listened to the radio for hours during like 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And I took 2, sometimes 3 cold showers every single day we were there. Because we didn't have air conditioning. We were in a cabin, but the cabin was not air conditioned. So it was fucking miserable. It was awful. I had a great time. I'd love to go back. Maybe when it's not that hot.
AWOL, no. I
Goodbye,
want to
Vague.
live. Wait, I have student loans.
Fake died.
Is that supposed to be a reason to kill you or not to kill you?
I got lucky on my student loans. And I do brag about it sometimes.
Oh no, I'm dead.
I got just enough financial aid.
He
Oh,
left the VC.
He left.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Vague. I hardly knew you.
Resist.
I don't have any student loans because I didn't go to college.
Yeah, I got lucky. I had just enough financial aid that once I got my job, I was able to pay it off within a few months.
Yeah, I got turbo fucked by a college who lied to me.
That will happen.
Let me
This
put
is
it
why
this
we
way.
don't go to for-profit universities.
Yep. Let me put it this way. My friend and I ended up getting so annoyed with them every time they would post on Reddit. We would reply back and get in an argument with whoever the new person they hired was through their social media to the point they just stopped posting again.
Damn. I feel bad for social media people, but also fuck them.
Yeah.
It's like they don't have any say in that.
Yeah, I
But
remember
also
one
fuck
time-
them.
Yeah, one time it literally ended up being like a 20 plus comment thread on Reddit with one of us arguing with the person about my experience until they finally admitted it could have happened and then immediately stopped posting on Reddit until they got a new person.
Damn. Oh well. Thankfully, my college finally stopped calling me asking for donations. It took like 4 fucking years, but they
They're
eventually
gonna
gave
call
up.
tomorrow.
Oh my god, you're right. I keep getting called by some scam debt collector.
I have had
They
an
keep calling me every day.
insane number of calls about people wanting to give me personal loans.
Yeah, I keep getting called by this debt collector and I never pick up. I only know they're a debt collector because I googled them. And I know I don't have any debts, and I'm 99% sure my credit has not been stolen because my credit score is still sky high. So,
You should lock your credit.
yeah, you're probably right. It's too much work. I'd rather just have my identity stolen and then, die. Personally.
Yeah, my dad's been dead for like 3 or 4 years now, and the college, his alma mater, is still trying to get him to go to events and donate money, and I'm like,
My grandfather on my dad's side has been dead for almost 10 years, and we still get mail.
yep,
It is absurd.
yep, I still have a debt collection company attempting to collect the debt past the statute, and they're like, if you pay it, we'll improve your credit score, and I just want to reply back, if you can improve the credit score of someone who's dead, I would love to see you do it.
Yeah, it doesn't. This one is super rare. We moved into this house a little over 20 years ago, and we will still occasionally get mail for the previous owners. And it's like,
Yep.
guys, it's been 2 decades. Why are you still sending mail?
Now that reminds me, I need to go give my neighbor the package I got for them.
Yep. I actually had the Social Security Administration tell me they couldn't stop sending a Social Security card to an address I haven't lived at since I was like 2.
That sounds about right.
and my account is currently broken. They cannot update my address because the identity verification service, ID.me, says they can't edit my address on file, while the Social Security Administration says they have to do it, and they keep pointing me back to one another, and nobody can figure it out.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Should
So
get the president to figure it out.
Dude, pretty much. Short of the president or a congressperson telling them to fix it, I don't think it's going to get fixed ever.
Probably not.
Well, that's probably fine until you retire.
Probably.
Or you do that thing where you don't retire, but you still collect Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, who are we kidding? By the time we retire, there's not going to be Social Security.
Probably not.
You know, funny...
I'm sure the GOP will get what they want.
Is, for the first year I worked at where I currently work now, they had fucked up my employment information so badly. They had the wrong social and the wrong physical address, and nothing got flagged for an entire year. And then my boss mailed me my tax stuff, and they're like, "Is this your address?" And I'm like, "No." "Is this your social?" "No."
Somebody did a fucky wucky.
Considering they had a picture and scan of my social, I'm like, how did that happen?
Well, you know,
that's just life.
You've told me that story before, and it gets less and less surprising the more you tell me about things.
Yeah, the more I learn about things, the more I'm amazed that society works at all.
Oh, well, that too, but...
Society works only because the demons of hell have realized if they let society fall apart.
They won't have any new souls?
No, they'll probably get kicked out of their jobs. Because humans will be infinitely better at it than they are.
True.
This is true. Although they have had a long time to learn from us.
True. But can you teach an old demon new tricks?
I don't know, they're immortal. The same rules don't apply.
I mean,
Exactly.
it's like, they'd be like, "Hey, check it out, we put bees in their urethras," and then the human's like, "You know, that makes them temporarily miserable, but I stuck them in wage slavery for all of eternity. They're going to have enough to survive, but not enough to do well." Except that one guy who goes to purgatory and then gets sent back because he's not very smart. So I make him do well enough to get to purgatory, and then he gets sent back.
Kind of the whole plot of The Good Place.
Yep.
What if we just put people in a place that is kind of like heaven, but not? And then torture them. And it doesn't work. Because if humans are good at one thing, it's eventually they figure out they're getting scammed. It might take a while. But they will figure it out.
Wait, you're scamming me?
One of my
You can't
favorite
have, like,
bits is
Lucky
when, what's his face? It's not CJ, is it?
Huh?
One of the characters in The Good Place, the dumb one.
Jason.
Jason, that's it. Jason figures it out,
Yeah.
and he's like, Jason figured it out?
Yeah.
This is a new low.
Yeah.
God.
Also, when they try to get the Bad Place Janet to say nice things and she melts,
Yep.
Yeah.
that one's fun.
I rewatched it recently.
A good
All I
place is
remember
good.
is Bortles.
Or the train moral experiment. Train morality
Yeah.
experiment.
Yeah. And
That's a good one.
the medium place.
Oh, the medium
what's
place
that
is
lady's
great.
name? I don't
The
remember
medium
her
place
name.
is fun. I mean, it's not fun. The whole point of the medium
Didn't
place
she
is
have
that...
a vibrator there and it didn't work properly at some point?
I think so.
Yeah, that checks out. That checks out.
Well, I mean, that's why she spied on Eleanor and Chidi.
Yep.
Ooh, another one. Another great scene. The Jeremy Bearimy.
God.
Yeah.
Jeremy Bearimy is great. So fucking stupid.
Yep.
Also, every time they go to reset Janet and she, like, bleed,
Yep.
she's designed to bleed for her life in more and more creative ways.
Even though she doesn't have a life.
Yeah. I'm pregnant. Good stuff.
Dude, they took that to the extreme in fucking Black Mirror.
Did they?
Yeah, with robots that learn, and she was like, the real person would have been begging for their life there, and he immediately learns from it and starts begging for his life, and she's like, God damn it, you can't do this.
Black Mirror had a Star Trek episode that was pretty good.
You know, I heard Black Mirror was a good show, so I'm like, my mom wanted some TV to watch. I'm like, hey, why don't we watch this together? You know which episode I picked to watch first? The episode where they watch the pig get fucked.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, well, shit.
The first episode of Black Mirror I watched was the one with the woman who has her memories erased every morning.
Yep.
And she has to keep living through the same day
Yeah,
over and
I think
over
at some
as like
point-
a jail sentence.
Yeah, I think at some point Netflix
That was the very
made
first
all
one
of
I
the
watched.
seasons, random order for different people. But when I watched it, it was in the order of release. So the pig episode was the first episode. So it has sexting and a pig getting fucked.
The second episode I watched was the censorship one with the the guy at the end that can't interact with anyone anymore.
Oh yeah, John
I
Hamm.
have only seen one episode of Black Mirror.
It's a good show, but it's very dark.
It is. The
Yeah,
Star Trek
that's why I've
episode is
only
also
seen one
really good.
episode.
Yeah.
I mean, the Star Trek
So,
episode is also super dark.
Only one
But it's
I've
good.
seen is the one with Miley Cyrus.
Which one's that?
Ashley O.
Oh, yes. Yes. I remember that one.
San Junipero is a good one.
I gotta go back and rewatch some old Twilight Zone. It's been a while.
I want to
Some of the
rewatch
newest-
Tales from the Crypt.
I've never seen
That's a
it.
good one.
I don't
Tales
think
from
I've
the
ever
Crypt
seen
is
it.
fantastic. Basically,
It was like early 90s HBO weirdo Twilight Zone.
Ah, okay.
with a horror tinge.
Yeah.
So, fun fact about that: the Crypt Keeper is currently stuck in copyright hell because
Yeah.
I believe the family got control of it again, and then
And that was the host.
yeah,
Gotcha.
and then their lawyer, I believe, they're either the family lawyer or the lawyer for the estate has control of it, and they don't know how valuable it is, and they just refuse to license it out to anyone.
Mm.
So So that's why the reboot series on Shudder has the knockoff Crypt Keeper, who doesn't talk.
Right.
But another fun fact about those episodes is they had the not safe for work episodes on HBO, but they have edited ones for syndication, and the changes that they make do not actually impact the episode story, and both episodes are just as good. So I can highly recommend them. They're all really fucking good.
Oh, there's a storm. That's what that was.
A storm?
It sounded like the world was shaking, and I was like, is it raining?
Oh.
Sometimes it's hard to tell if, I'm being bombed or...
Yeah. World War III has begun, or it's just a storm.
Yeah, you never know.
When I was really little, my parents, mainly my dad, would watch Tales from the Crypt. And if I was in the room, I would, like, hide in my mom and be like, tell me when the scary guy is gone.
Understandable.
Because I was, like, 3.
I remember one time I couldn't sleep. I was very young, and I turned on the TV and just flipped through channels and settled on HBO or one of those. And it was a movie about giant spiders eating people.
Oh, God.
And that movie fucked me up for a long time.
Yep.
It was like 3 in the morning. I was like 8 years old. If that.
I've watched a ton of fucked up movies, and I turned out perfectly fine.
There's something about that, like, late night brain damage that you get. Not really brain damage, but you know what I mean. Especially when you're young like that. Where you end up with these core memories.
These core memories and phobias and fears.
And you're not really sure what to do with them. And then you fall asleep after watching that, and you have, like, the craziest, awful nightmares. The kind that you remember forever.
Yep.
What was that one show with Frakes? Riker.
Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
Beyond Belief. I would like to see another one of them. I think that if you took modern tech and, like, competent writing and direction, you could have a lot of fun doing that again today.
Yep.
We made it up. Didn't happen. It's not real.
Our research showed it happened in 1897 in Wisconsin, Illinois.
I have only watched that show once when I was in Lancaster, PA on vacation. And it was like the only thing on. It was that or Django Unchained. Because everything else was like, I don't want to watch this.
I've seen every episode because it used to air on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, I believe it. It was an interesting show.
How much Sci-Fi I watched. I had a Palm Pilot, and there was an app that let you get the TV schedule. So I would put the TV schedule for Sci-Fi for the week on my fucking Palm Pilot, and then I would be sure to tune in on the days where you had Star Trek, Beyond Belief, or The Sentinel.
Never watched The Sentinel.
Or Kolchak the Night Stalker. That show is kick-ass.
I never watched that either. I need to sit down and pick up SG-1 again.
Yes.
I got through most of SG-1, and then I hit the, like, Stargate Atlantis era, and then stopped. That's where I burnt out.
Did you not like Atlantis?
I didn't hate it, but I had spent the last 2 months watching SG-1 nonstop.
Fair. I have the box set.
It's in my wish list. Someday I'll buy it.
I'm pretty sure I got it when I worked at Half Price Books, so I got it for super fucking cheap.
It's like $120 on Amazon.
I definitely did not pay that much for it.
Yeah, it's all of the old sci-fi show box sets are like $100+. So like if you want to buy the box set for DS9, it's like $100. I'll see what it is on Black Friday. Maybe it'll be cheaper.
I know it was on sale for digital on Fandango recently. I'm not sure if it still is.
Don't like buying digital media.
Neither do I. Although admittedly, DVDs have their own problems.
Disc rot.
Yeah. I mean, if I can buy a DVD box set and it lasts me 10 years, then I'd say that's worth it. Right?
I definitely have DVDs that are older than that still are good.
God, I remember the Stargate Arc of Truth leaked out on DVD like a month before the actual street date, but it was the PAL version only, and it did not want to convert easily to NTSC. That was fun.
Yeah, that'll be a problem. We're almost there.
Damn, SG1 the complete series is $99 on Fandango, but Universe is only $20.
That's
SG1
not
is
surprising at
older.
all.
The SG1 is older. I think it has more issues too, because of like format conversions.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot. I think
they
Universe
were
is not
cheaper
nearly
over
as
the
long.
weekend.
Because Universe was not good.
I heard that Universe had a handful of good episodes, but like that's it.
Well, I mean, the main thing is that it was not even close to being a similar show to SG1 and Atlantis. And
Yeah.
that's what people wanted and not what they got.
Right.
And apparently they had a pretty good plan for fixing it the third season and getting to what people wanted, and then they got the cancellation.
We're still missing quite a few things. I'm just not sure where they are. Diving helmet eyelets. Oh, the diving helmet has a few things that are still from underneath. Just trying to find the right angle. There we go. Entrance rock wall frame maintenance tunnel lights. So we must have missed a light. I'm guessing the entrance rock wall frame is way back.
We're on it.
Hey! Let's go!
We got it. I am now deaf. Oh god, now I am deaf.
The hell was that?
You're getting a
Hello?
call. You're getting a call.
God damn it, well.
I should go.
Oh my god.
We only have the one camera angle? Fuck off.
Yeah.
This one's really bad.
That's why I hate these huge jobs, is because you don't actually get to see the whole thing.
Also,
It's always only one camera angle.
and the video is always the same length. So
Yeah.
they just speed it up.
Yeah.
I hate that. That's awful. That's disgusting. I'm uninstalling. I'm deleting this game from my library permanently. Which I don't know if you can even do anymore.
Yeah, you can do it, but I think they still just hide it.
Damn. All right. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Yee.
Yeah, it's
Chat.
fun.
Have a good night. Take care. Get enough sleep, or else.